Everyone strike a pose.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the QT, episode number 18. I believe this one is called Noitcelfer.
What is Noitcelfer?
Noitcelfer.
I need to Google that word.
It's not a word.
Noitcelfer.
That's a fun word.
Meaning? The act of reflecting or the state of being reflected.
That's a pretty word. I like that.
I don't like that.
Also, just read it. Also, just
Forces you,
read it
yeah.
backwards, guys. Come on, just
Yeah.
read it backwards. It's not that hard.
Read it.
Elf! Stop it!
I wasn't looking to use my brain today, y'all. Feeling attacked.
I will take your reflection and defenestrate through the reflection in the glass window.
I hate this. Welcome to the QT, everyone. What's up? Check the website out and give Cheapy all your money
check
on
the
Patreon,
guys.
please.
That's it for us. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Great show, everyone.
Just a reflect. It's just
We did
this
it.
show's just a reflection of the previous one. Go watch that one.
Actually, it's going to be about an hour and a half, and then we're just going to take the first hour and a half and play it in reverse.
Yep.
And
That's the plan.
that's how today works.
Having a good time.
I see what you're saying. It's like a art. What do you call it? Like a experimental art film
Yeah.
of TTRPGs.
And
We're making Art House now, guys. Welcome to the new show.
It'll be one of those things where if you play it backwards, it's like all cryptic and like
Yeah,
say, oh, it's
exactly.
demonic.
Yeah.
There's something in there.
Maybe we can turn into
Go
a
to the
bestseller
Patreon.
piece of shit dual water book like the Da Vinci Code.
Oh,
Let's
fuck.
do the reverse. Hello
Oh, my
everyone.
God.
This is the Wander again. This is my channel where we do TTRPG stuff, and yeah, as has been said, there is a website. If you go to the website, you will be able to find all the links to everything, but also on the Twitter. If you go to the Twitter, you can find the link to the website. It's all very round, circular, and fun. If you enjoy the show, and you go and look at the channel and you see all the other shows, you enjoy those too, consider going to check out the Patreon. You can pledge for as little as like $3 a month, and that goes directly into paying the cast. I realized today that I have to get all the pay done for the Alien show. Alien show.
Egg.
Let's throw that up.
Egg.
Hey, look.
Eggs.
It's the Alien show. They can't see me. I'm behind the poster. Hey, look, it's the Alien show. The Duakra Outlook is coming in the next couple of months.
Can I ask what that word means? Or
Duakra?
is that part of the show? Duakrama.
The duacrama isn't a word as far as I'm aware.
Can I guess?
Yes.
It's actually duochroma, and it just means of two colors.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I'm
Like
guessing.
the answer.
Although one of our cast members pointed to a Mario meme that's duaclima. Like duacrime.
Ooh.
It's a me, Mario. Duochroma.
Secretly,
Fantastic.
everyone plays in Mario voices.
Oh my
They
god.
don't. But, so the Duacrama Outlook is because we have two GMs with two different timelines. So it's essentially, I wanted a word that was like kind of similar to duel. So I went with dua, and then crema is like lacrima.
Yeah. No, I like it a lot now
Have
that
you,
you said
have you
that.
considered duochrona as in two different timelines?
No, because that's why the Outlook is there.
Okay, I will retract my suggestion.
Also, we've made up the posters, and it's been the show name for quite a while.
It was also like
I think
it
it's
wasn't
recorded
a no, like,
and done.
It wasn't a no, like no, but that's a good idea. It was more of a no, that'd be fucking stupid.
Well, no. It very much was a no, as in like we've recorded the show. It's been called Duacra Outlook. Where were you like 3 months ago?
Yeah, well, I
but-
didn't ask.
But yes, we essentially Outlook. It is set on a space station of some kind. Ooh, spoilers. or teaser or whatever.
Space station.
And it's called the Duakrama Outlook because it's outlooking over things. So, but it's also Outlook as in like two different outlooks from two different timelines. I tried my best
over
to be
space
intelligent
station.
with it.
Space station.
But who could that have been? Yes, Bentham/Mangled Pork was indeed the person who pointed out the Mario Duakrima. Thank you for that, mate. It's like in one of my previous shows, I had a character theme song for one of my NPCs, which the entire cast, the second I put it on, went, that just sounds like porn music from the 70s.
Hell yeah.
So,
Ron Jeremy rolls out from back.
so
Out of prison?
After I played that once, I never played it again, and I changed the theme song because I'm like, I can't use this song anymore.
Can't do it now. Can't do it now, yeah.
Otherwise, every time I turn it on, people are like, oh, is the pizza here? Cool.
Hello, I'd like my money back, please. I seem to have inadvertently purchased porn music.
You fucking butt prints. In space, no one can hear you, Krima. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, fuck.
Well done. Well done.
So, with all
I
of
refuse to endorse this behavior with applause.
with all of that said, yes, there is the Patreon, and you can go there and you can help fund the shows. All of the money there goes directly into paying the cost. If we ever get excess of money, it will go into things like overlays and production and all of those type of things.
Savvy.
Yes. Intro, outro videos, etc.
And Askren, let's not forget Askren and Peachy.
How could you forget Askren when he does like the freaking
No
dragons
one
for
can.
Well, I'm
Dragon
saying.
Riders?
Askren shall haunt me on my dying
Credit
day.
where credit is due.
Facts.
Hey, before
Another
we
great
get
reason to
started,
check out the Patreon,
before
my
we get
dudes.
started, can I just ask how everyone's week has been since we last played? Because we never check out what everyone's been doing for the last week. It's always straight to business. And
The countdown clock to my surgery is coming up, so mostly that.
I'm gonna be honest, I've been thinking about that a lot too.
Hey,
Damn, Katie, it doesn't need to take up your brain,
I
Katie.
know, it's a big deal and I care, man.
Katie and Siobhan are very
Don't worry.
worried. Elf,
Don't worry,
not so
Katie.
much.
I'll send you a message after. I'll be like, I live,
Elf doesn't-
bitches.
Please.
I'll make a deal with you four as a cast, cast to GM. If you guys let me start on time, I'll give you 5 minutes to talk about how your week has
That's
been.
fair.
It's,
Don't put the blame all on
I
us
feel like
here,
Whoa.
buddy.
I do
I'm
feel
sorry.
like that's misplaced.
Really?
You
We're
can-
also
Really?
Yeah.
traitorously late.
Sheepy, you have the controls. You can say, I'm starting now. That's
Hey,
you can
okay,
do that.
So for today, I was
That's what I
prepped.
do.
I was prepped to say I'm starting now for about 5 minutes.
Then just say it.
And you never did. Why would you not?
Because you guys didn't stop talking for about
Then
10
just say
minutes
it.
straight.
Yeah.
You could just yell over us. It's
I think
fine.
most of us have the stream
I'm
up in the
British,
background.
Okay, it's very like literally. I just talked over LZT, and I want to go and have a tea and lie down.
That's your problem. You're in a game with me and Katie just yelling and Syrinx just yelling over each other.
Yeah.
Let's let this
Yeah.
poor British man start
LZT
this
slightly
game.
more polite. You know, I think.
I've been trying to do my intro for about 10 minutes now.
Yeah. And then you just stiff upper lip.
How's
and
that
do
going for
fucking
you?
Nothing.
I've barely started, and I've only just mentioned the Patreon about 7 minutes ago.
We've mentioned the Patreon several times,
Yes,
however,
yeah.
so you're covered. You're
Yeah,
covered.
yeah,
You're
no,
good.
It's true.
Hey, Sheepy, how was your week?
Yeah. I've been fixing my sleep.
Wait, hold on. Wait, so you
Good.
get to talk about your week, but we're not allowed to talk about our weeks? I see how it is.
See, I'm playing on his Britishness. He won't let the question go unanswered. He will have to respond.
I'm feeling like we're bullying Sheepy right now.
Yeah, I'm
A
just
little
fucking
bit, yeah, a
with-
little
I'm
bit.
just- I'll stop. I'll stop.
Sorry.
Not you, I was pointing out LZT, you bully.
Yeah.
No bully. No bully, Sheepy.
But yeah, no. Okay, intro.
Yes, begin your game.
It's a good thing I didn't have an ad read this week. If you are interested in making me read out some type of like random jokey advertisement, I've had one submitted that I'm going to have to get prepared. But aside from that, especially once we switch over to YouTube, which is coming. Oh yes, what I wanted to say. With the Durakramir Outlook, that's going to be running probably around the time we either finish the QT or close to when we are finishing the QT, because I'm going to be moving house. I've got to.
Oh yeah.
So I don't imagine I will be, out of action for very long in that kind of terms. But just in case, it means there's at least one show a week for you guys to consume, and I feel like you'll all very much enjoy the Durakramir Outlook. It's
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Space station.
I love alien shit.
Space.
It's an interesting format. It's the first time we've done like a fully recorded show. It's allowed us to go deeper into the production of a show, so like music,
The editing and stuff, yeah.
like the music editing is on point. Like a scene starts and the music like fades in like perfectly timed, and
I mean, Bentham's in it, so I have to watch.
yeah,
That's just how it works.
it's true. Like you can't piss off Bentham. He'll
It's true.
get revenge somehow. So
Knock knock.
what happened last week? We had.
I became a horrible monster.
Well, we're talking
Don't
about
talk yourself down like that, honey.
Wait,
It's-
we're talking about the characters, Elf, right now.
Oh, okay.
Victoria, Diggy evolves to Hydra.
I fucking wish I could become a horrible monster IRL.
Who's that monster?
It's
It's
Pikachu.
Tori.
I choose you, Tori Chew.
Oh god.
Sorry.
Yes.
Wait, Tori means bird, so she'd be far-fetched.
What?
Yes, perfect.
I hate this.
How well can you spin a leak?
Yeah, exactly. Do you
Mm.
need a
Like,
Finnish
I
polka?
can do the
Yeah.
pen thing. That's about it.
If we play a Finnish polka in the background, will it work better?
Yeah, obviously.
So yes, we had the bank manager, who Tori made a deal with, and then left and picked up the kids from the school, and they headed out to the lake. And Tori was like, "Hey, my friend / this guy I know, who's not suspicious at all, told me to go
Yeah.
check out the lake. Let's go check out the lake." They went there. They went to the lake, and then a giant fucking eel. Basically,
It's an Inkanyamba. Thank you very much.
it is an Inkanyamba, that is true. Rose out of the lake and was like, "Hey, what's up, Lord? Come join me." And Tori was like, "Bet." And then swam,
Pretty much.
swam out into the lake, went underwater, and essentially claimed her territory, as best as I can say, and transformed into a giant fucking Hydra with multiple heads. And after coming out of the lake and transforming back, realized that also she has reasonably effective regeneration qualities when she cut her foot on a stone and it just went.
Reasonably
But
is
let's not forget the statement you made about how chlorinated water may be a problem, or like unclean water may be a problem.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a weakness for anybody to have. Let's be honest.
No less the captain of the swim team.
You take a sip of that tap water and you're like, ugh.
You're in
My
Yeah, and
town.
doesn't don't you
My
turn into a scale
powers.
beast if salt water touches you?
We don't know yet what
Questionably.
happens. Yeah.
Like you get scaly at some kind of water. So like water's your superpower, but also it's your out.
Yeah.
Well, and also during all of this, Shaggy and Scooby Doo were in the car like row.
Rook, bro.
And yes,
Rook, hi, Reggie.
and yes, William is Shaggy and George is Scooby Doo.
No, I
Um,
would.
Sorry,
I mean,
bud.
come on.
Oh,
Actually,
Maggie.
I'm pretty sure George is Shaggy. Let's be honest.
Not anymore.
I don't know, Katie. Who
That's
can do
impossible now.
Katie, who does the best?
Oh, true. Not me.
And we carried on with the disturbing dynamic between Mr. Knight and Cecilia.
Questionable at best.
Questionable.
Manipulative piece
Toxic.
of shit. If anybody doesn't remember, Mr. Knight is a narcissistic, manipulative piece of shit.
Just a love bombing fucking jerk ass is what
Yeah.
it is.
Praying. He's grooming. He's literally grooming.
Literally
It's
Giving a
disgusting.
teenage girl what she wants.
God,
Oh,
a desperate teenage
God,
girl who
why
is
would
sad.
you say it like that?
Look, everyone. I have to
We
play
hate
this.
him.
I have to play this character. Why are you making it more difficult for me?
You play it really well, and it makes me really sad about the people you've known in your life.
That doesn't
I
help.
rejoice in playing the character.
That doesn't help me, Katie.
Look, playing villains is an art form, okay? You have like the
It truly is.
the more
Honest.
terrible a person is,
Yeah.
the more fun it is to play them. In my mind. In my
Honest.
I agree.
I agree.
Villains is an
If
art
I
form.
I
It's-
agree.
I love villains. I love playing villains. I like being a horrible person in a fake world. That's why all my LARP characters are evil. You know.
It's fun.
It's you, Christopher Lee, and
Yeah, exactly.
Peter
May-
Cushing.
Maybe I should just make my pose for the least flattering pose for Twitter for when people call me out for my characters. Just like, listen.
Oh, do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
please.
Post it now,
LZT.
man.
LZT, with those comparisons, are you saying that at some point I have to play an authoritarian, like fascist character? Like, is that
Yeah,
what you're
I think
saying?
so, and
All right,
also
all right.
Dracula at some point.
All right.
But it's a vampire
Dracula,
LARP, right?
Dracula stuff I've done. Yeah,
that's
that's
exactly.
awesome.
You're well on your way. Now you have to
Oh, man.
have to face off against
We'll
Mr.
do
Bond
the
as well
we'll
at
do
some
the
point.
we'll do the tight bun and the like cap, the cap and stuff. You know. Yeah. There you go.
Perfect.
If I have actually easy enough. I'll just do a 40k show sometime.
Yeah,
You can-
just hit
you
me
can
up.
be
I'll
an
play the
Inquisitor.
commissar. It's fine. We're good.
Inquisitor, come on,
Yeah, or
yeah.
Inquisitor, yeah.
Shoot high.
Yeah.
Never trust the Inquisition.
GP, hook me up. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play him.
You say that, Sheepy. I've started reading the Horus Heresy, and I finished the first book like an hour before we started today. So
You do realize
I brought us
that's
off track
143
again. I'm
fucking books in
sorry.
the series. I do realize that.
like there's a lot of books in
my-
Yeah, I don't have the budget for all those. I figured I'd get the first like 3, 4 maybe.
Hey, QT.
Hey, thanks. I mean, you know.
So back to that toxic relationship.
Yes.
Hey,
and,
we're talking about RP.
and Cecilia was taken with Mr. Knight, took her to the bank as they are going to go and exorcise the entity inside. And we finished off last episode with a much like someone emerging from a lake. The bank manager rising up behind Cecilia as she was walking through the mirror world is the best way I can describe it. So,
The mirror world. Do we have a name? Did we get a name for the mirror lady?
No,
Bank
Like what
lady.
she is?
bank manager.
Yeah.
She's just a bank manager, but her like what she is. Like
Nope.
her.
Not yet.
Okay, we don't have a name for her. That's what I thought. I had question marks on
Ooh,
that. if
there
I
we
missed it or
We
not.
may by the end of this episode, in theory.
Well, I'm thinking
Oh, yeah.
Cecilia's gonna get it because Cecilia asks a lot of questions, and I'm
So-
into it. Like I live for it.
coming from George, who's like, okay,
I know.
what's going on? Who are you? Where is this? Where am I? What am I? What is the meaning of life? Answer.
Who are you?
Answer in order, but in your own speed. So. Interestingly, we do not have any type of look over the landscape of Quail Town today.
Oh.
Instead, what we are going to do is we are going to fade in on a fairly run-down looking house. Oh, pardon me. And the camera kind of zooms in. It's nighttime. The street lights are on, but everything's fairly quiet. And as the camera like focuses on the house, we see someone walk into frame from on the street and turn like past one of those, you know, little wooden picket fences, open the gate and walk up the little pathway to the front of the house, get her key out, and it is a one-story house. I say this not to remind everyone watching, but to remind the person who lives in it. Because she keeps trying to go upstairs.
It's the
That's a
worst.
huge
Picture it
fucking
like a
spoiler.
sitcom house in my head. I've been pretty good though. I don't think I've said upstairs in like 2 episodes.
It's true. As George walks into her house.
Question: does it have a basement? Because technically, then it is upstairs.
If we're anywhere near the East Coast, we would have a basement just because of the weather. Anywhere like mid to east. Every house does.
Possibly.
Just because you have to have a shelter if there's a tornado.
Yeah.
Congratulations, George! You got an upstairs.
Woo!
It is not the root cellar.
My basement, I assume because I live literally in a dilapidated old ass shitty 1-story, my basement is like the crawl space.
I will say I did always see the area of the QT being kind of up around Maine, New York type
That's,
of
I can picture,
area.
Connecticut-ish. I did the same. Yeah.
Tangent over.
And when you walk in, the house is fairly dark. You can hear the TV going in the room just to your left. And there's no sign of like, you know, people kind of wandering around the house and doing stuff. You're gonna guess someone's watching TV. Aside from that,
Probably asleep in front of the TV.
probably.
It's Puka feeding night, so I'd probably very sneakily like creep to the fridge and grab the milk and the bread and kind of try to creep to my room without whoever's near the couch. Probably my mom passed out. Like even noticing, just so I can go do it because I don't want to be pissed all over my house.
Do you take a look at who's on the?
I don't think I could help not to because our house is so small. I think it's pretty much, you know, like open floor plan kind of thing, right?
Yeah, essentially, unless you're actively trying not to look, then
No, I would peek if it was possible to. Yeah.
it is not your mom. It's Lissa.
Just sitting there. Is she awake?
But the TV's on, and you know it's got that like unnatural kind of old TV glow that makes it like just it bathes the room in that really artificial kind of white light. And TV's kind of loud, so she probably didn't hear the door.
It's a lint on me. George would probably be like, you know, in the creep, like pause and like, I don't honestly remember the last time I had a full conversation with my sister. And so I'd probably like shove the bread under my arm and like head over and see if she's awake. And if she's awake, be like, sup?
When you say sup, she like kind of spins around and jumps a little bit. She's like, oh, hey George. I didn't hear the door. You just get back?
Yeah. This is late. You okay?
Yeah.
Feeling all right?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Mom left like 30 minutes ago, I think.
That sounds about right.
And she said I should go to bed, but she was kind of in a hurry, so. But and she stands up and like kind of runs past you. She's like, wait there, and she like runs past you, like runs down the hallway to her room, and you hear the door open, and then like maybe about a minute later, the door like kind of slams shut again, and you hear her feet kind of back towards you. She says, look. And she like holds her hand open, and there's this kind of like really tacky plastic pink like clamshell looking thing It's quite small, but it kind of fits in the palm of her hand. And she said, "Mom gave me a birthday present. Finally."
George will look at it and kind of squint. Is that a fucking Polly Pocket?
Yeah.
Your birthday was like 2 months ago.
4.
Yeah.
At least she remembered.
Uh-huh. I mean, that was nice. Did you have you had dinner? Did you eat tonight at anything? Do you want to eat some? I can make some sandwiches or something.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sick. And I'm gonna like reach out and kind of beckon for the clamshell thing.
Yeah, she could. She like drops it in your hand.
And I'll kind of like turn towards the kitchen with it in my hand and pop it open and just like shaking my head like, are you fucking what? Because she's like 12, right? Yeah, she's 12 years old, which if for those of you that are unfamiliar with what a Polly Pocket was or the tiny clamshell thing, it looked kind of like a makeup compact and it was literally like a pink clamshell, but when you opened it, it was like a miniature little world, like a little apartment inside, and this tiny little blonde white bitch named Polly lived in it.
This is some like 6 to 8 year old shit.
Literally, like it's literally 6 to 8 years old. By the time you're 8 years old, you don't want to play with it anymore, and if you're younger than 6, you'd eat all the parts and die.
I appreciate that explanation because I have no idea what the fuck it was. I'm like,
Yep, it
it'll
was
probably come out in conversation like
Oh,
organically. I'm
that
not gonna
is-
ask.
I did.
That is classic plastic crap. Let's
Yep,
put
it was
that way.
90s shit. Like you didn't build anything. It was just there, and you could move that little bitch
Yes.
around it, I guess.
But Prince is correct. The opposite gendered version was called Mighty Max.
Yes. Very, very much so.
Seriously, Mighty
Yeah.
Max?
Yeah,
Oh my god!
look it up.
You guys got shit toys.
I didn't. Shut up.
Yeah. The Americas are terrible. It's true.
They think we're gonna eat everything, but anyways, that's what a Polly Pocket is. So I'm gonna take it
Mhm.
into the kitchen and like set my bread and my milk down and go to the fridge, see if there's.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we have like peanut butter and jelly or something.
Yeah.
Basic.
Yeah.
Throw together some sandwiches or something, but I'll have the Polly Pocket like open on the counter, and while I'm making the sandwiches, just like staring at it, trying to think of a way to spin this so my mom doesn't seem like such a fucking absentee parent to my sister. Like in the past, like couple months of all this happening to us, or weeks or whatever it's been, George's had a lot of self-reflection time. Like a lot of shit's gone down. She's now got a Chef Jeff inside of her as well as a giant egg. Like it's a lot, and she does think for as much as she's a sassy person. Everybody thinks, and so she's kind of looked at like how she's handled this and how it maybe hasn't been the best. Like she hasn't been the worst, but she doesn't have any coping mechanisms at all. Like she's not been taught how to be a grown up in any fashion, and she's looking at her sister like. It's just rinse and repeat. Like it's the same fucking thing just happening over again. And so she's tried like little bits here and there, but she's a kid. What are you going to do? So that's what she's just staring at it, like sadly wiping peanut butter on probably some bread that's like shredding in her hand, like Wonder Bread or some shit,
And as you are doing that, like it's kind of the Polly Pocket's kind of like open in on the table, and she like takes it and like spins it towards her and like looks at it. She's like, she forgot yours, right? Like your last birthday?
Yeah. The last like 5. It's whatever. It's not like she was great when she remembered them.
Maybe I can put stuff in it. It could be like maybe I could use it like a pencil case or something for school.
Yeah, I mean, you could use it like a coin purse. We could just use I could get a screwdriver, and I'm gonna go to the quintessential junk drawer in every single kitchen ever. Start digging for something. We could like crack that whole thing open.
Yeah.
We could make that into anything. What do you like? What do you carry? Do you have a purse?
No.
That makes sense.
I kind of wanted one, but
No shit? And George is gonna like speed walk to her room, to her closet, and start digging through the massive crap because she guaranteed has a purse somewhere in there that she like, when she was hitting that exact age, she was probably like, I think I need one, and then absolutely abandoned the idea. Just some like Claire's,
Yeah,
thing.
it was a little bit easier, because there was a bit more money back then. So you.
Oh yeah, that was probably when our parents were together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were together up until she was born, right? If I remember correctly.
They were together until a year before Lissa was born.
Yeah.
There was some complicated shit that happened after they divorced.
So if I can find said little Claire's purse, I'll probably like shake it out, dump all the gum wrappers and dust and shit, whatever kids put in their purses out, or like a 3-year-old lip gloss or something, dust it off and come into the kitchen, like brushing it off and be like, I mean, it's not fancy, but I didn't use it.
Yeah.
She'll just like set it next to the Polly Pocket and then go back to the drunk drawer and be like, you still want to crack that shit open?
Yeah. Well, why not?
It's up to you, man. You're present.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm going to use it. Otherwise, and
How does anyone use that?
I guess you can look at it and you could like move. Maybe like 4 years ago, I would have maybe.
It's gonna be a great story one day. We're gonna laugh about this, about the one time mom got you a child's toy for your 12th birthday 4 months later. Yep, we're gonna laugh about a lot of this. As she like pushes a plate with 2 sandwiches piled on top of it, messily cut crosswise, of course, towards Alyssa. Eat something.
Yeah.
Our brains will work better.
And she like picks it up. Is it crossless?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Wonder Bread, dude. It's just sugar.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, crustless. And then she'll probably, like, they don't have, like, family sit-down dinners. Like, they don't have that kind of cohesive family unit. So the idea of sitting, like, across the table from her younger sister, especially after this has just happened, kind of scares her a little bit, I think. So she'll probably do, like, the like, busy yourself at the dishes. But she's going to go put on a teapot. She'll go put on some tea or something.
Yeah.
Make her cocoa.
And just as a sidebar, because this is not something that's really come up too much, your half brother Matthew is a year older than Alyssa, and your half sister is like 4 or 5 years younger.
Daddy played, for those that didn't catch on to that one. Icky. And we've always been under myself and Alyssa have always been under the impression that he essentially decided to go make a new family. Like, this one wasn't good enough. And that's our impression of Dad. But yeah, I'll probably just like go put a kettle on and talk. Just ask her about her day. Do the, the small talk stuff, joke about the Polly Pocket thing, talk about how we could rip it open and use it for something. Put a mirror in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Joke about not getting the part stuck up your nose, because Mom probably had a kid in the ER that did that. I totally did. Stuff like that.
Yep.
Give her a cocoa. Squirt some whipped cream on it if we've got it. Knock my chapstick over in the meantime.
There is a can of it in the. Is it a British person? Is it refrigerated or is it in the like cupboard?
Refrigerated. If it's the cheap like aerosol shit, yeah.
But when you, it just goes.
Oh, it's like the piss comes out. I'd probably try to stir it into the cocoa so she doesn't notice the little whipped cream piss and like. We're out of cocoa, man. I don't know. I mean, out of whipped cream. It seemed old. I wouldn't.
That's okay.
You're happy, right?
How do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like life goes by really fast and we don't really have conversations very often about this kind of stuff. Like, Are you okay?
And she's sitting on one of those, like, you know, kind of boss. It's like a stool, but like
Yeah.
a tall one, like with the wooden sides and everything. And
Yep.
she picks her feet up from dangling off it, and, like, you know, kind of goes into the tuck knees thing. I don't know. Like, as opposed to what?
I don't know. Like, is home a sad place? I feel like I'm not around when it's just you and mom anymore. And
Well, I mean, mom's not around that much either, anyway.
so do you just like chill by yourself here most of the time?
Well, yeah, because I can't really, like, you know, a couple of my friends have wanted to come back, but their folks say that they're not allowed because there's no, you know, adult there.
Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, that should happen to me too. Honestly, it's better that way. They don't really say nice things once they come out to our house, anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever want to like chill after school or something? Like, you know, Joel and I just like hang at the park. You don't have to sit here by yourself all day.
Yeah, no, I could, yeah, I could come to the park and hang with you and Joel.
Yeah, I'm sure some of your friends are there. There's like younger kids, there's older ones, but I'll kill them if they look at you. It's fine. It's got to be better than this, right?
It's not that bad.
Were you just watching infomercials? You're 12.
Yeah, but there's not that many channels.
There's no channels.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like watching Joel smash his head into something hard and concrete's got to be more entertaining than this. It's like Jackass Light. You'll love it.
I'm sure he's not that bad at skateboarding.
Oh no, he's actually great.
Yeah.
But once in a while, I mean, the great guys risk, right? And I think it's the fact that he doesn't cry, like he doesn't like show pain. He just kind of gets up and keeps going. It kind of gives me a weird sense of hope. Nothing can get that kid down.
Yeah.
Almost nothing.
Well, I'd like to see him skateboard again. It's been quite a while.
Well, I mean, the school's not that far from. I think your school's even closer to the park than mine. Like, do you feel safe walking there? Because if you want to come tomorrow, I mean, it's chill. It's whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I should probably still be back, you know, like before it gets dark.
Oh yeah, no, sick. I mean,
Like I still. I mean,
there's this new kid at school. He talks real funny. He's hilarious, but he does his homework at the park. Like, you might get a little smarter or something. It's crazy. He like lays books out and takes up space, and people just respect it at this point. It's kind of wild to see.
Okay.
You never know.
Yeah.
George thinking to herself, like, did she just fuck herself over, or is she saving her sister? Like, is this self-sacrifice basically of her alone time? But this is just too tragic. Who's doing whippets?
I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind being here. You know, like it's not that bad. You get used to it.
Yeah, but do you want to get used to this? Or, like, yeah, I'm not saying you have to do anything. Like, it's no pressure, but, like, I guess I'm giving you an option.
Well, yeah.
So you don't feel like this is your everything. Because this is...
Well, yeah, but you know, when we were younger, you had to come straight back from school every day and do this, right? For me?
Yeah, well, have to.
No, because
I chose to.
Yeah, because Mum was at work.
Yeah.
So
But you shouldn't be alone at home when you were that young. That was insane.
yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
You were 6.
I know. But now I'm older and I can, I can be here by myself. It's fine. And you know. I mean, I always felt like part of the reason you only ever really had Joel was because you couldn't hang out with your friends after school. You had to come back and,
I didn't really have any friends, to be honest.
Yeah, Joel.
Yeah.
And Casey.
I don't know. It wasn't that bad. But it was... I got too much in my own head.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to think, but sometimes there's too much time to think, And you can kind of start to drive yourself crazy with that.
Especially when it's quiet.
Yeah. Sometimes, when a crazy goes through your head, you gotta bounce it off another human being and be told it's crazy before it turns into something not safe in your head. And I just don't want you to feel like you're trapped in that here. That's it. But if you like it, feel free. It's
No,
cool.
I mean, that's why I put the infomercials on, because then, it sounds like someone else is in the house.
Oh my god, dude.
Fuck, that's depressing.
Holy crap.
Sorry.
So many feelings.
So I'm gonna meet you at the skate park tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Sick. Finish your cocoa before you go to bed, okay?
Yeah.
Fruit flies and shit.
Yeah, okay.
Skate park. And I'm gonna, as she says, she's kind of saying it to herself, like a mantra, like, skate park, as she walks to the living room and turns the TV off.
Yeah.
It's not that far away. It's literally probably, remote is sitting on the couch
Yeah,
or something.
no, yeah.
Click that
easy.
shit off, and then she turns just, bug-eyed, oh no. Did her sister refer to her friends as the people in the infomercial? And she'll probably kind of, stroll to the counter, tuck the milk bottle and the bread under her arm again and grab her bag and just kind of walk by the table and do one of those head scrub hat things.
Yeah.
This is as intimate as I know how to get. But I love you. To her sister and be like, go to bed.
Okay. And she jumps down and you hear her feet patting off to the to her room, and you hear her say, I think Mom's staying at Jackson's tonight, so she won't be back, so you can lock up.
Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, yeah. I will. I'll check. Make sure your window's closed, okay?
Okay.
I'll turn the air on.
Alright. Night, George.
Good night.
And a couple of seconds and door.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Nope. George will probably just stand in her doorway with all that stuff, what the fuck? And then walk in, throw her bag down, and start, looking for a place to just put the milk bottle. She gets a milk bottle because I still got those in the 90s. I don't know. I think they still exist. And the bread and just put it on the ground, and she'll plop on the end of her bed and just sit and stare. And that conversation is going to stay with her for a bit.
In your room?
Yes. Oh yeah, in my room, door closed. Oh yeah. But I went and locked up first.
Yeah.
Just went and checked all the windows and doors and shit.
A little time passes, maybe 3 minutes or so. And then you hear a little kind of and maybe 30 more seconds and stuff. The little nibbly sounds stop and.
George.
Mm-hmm.
Is your mother bad? Kinda Like how sometimes things can be evil?
No, I wouldn't say evil. You know how some people are like good at some things and not good at other things?
No.
Are you bad at something? Like, have you ever tried to do something and not been able to do it? Like burp on purpose?
No.
Try to burp on purpose. God damn it. Well, Puka. And she hasn't even turned towards Puka. She's just like elbows on her knees, staring off into the darkness. You know, humans, we kind of suck. I'm sure you're aware of that. Well, am I even human anymore? Let's not go there. And sometimes we're like really good at some things and not very good at other things. Like some people in the world are famous for making the best bread in the world.
Hmm.
But
where
they
would they be? Just ask. Just want to ask.
the Q team. That's where I get your bread.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Best
Don't worry, you've
bread.
got the best of the best, honey.
Okay.
But say that person can't swim.
Hmm.
They're just incapable. They sink, they whatever. So my mom is really good at taking care of people, like everyone, except her daughters. Maybe she's just bad at being a mom.
I think maybe she's bad at taking care of herself too.
You know? I wouldn't know. I don't think we've spoken more than 4 words in years. Do you see her around here very often, Puka?
Yeah. When she come back and when she is in the room with the television.
The man.
No, it's in the big room with the couch.
Oh, yeah, the living room, yeah. What does she do? Just sleep?
Sometimes she cry.
She cries?
Mm.
So she's still watching These Are the Days of Our Lives. All right. Good to know she's consistent. She ever talk to anybody?
Not really. Except for your sister, sometime.
Is she nice?
Well, how can I tell if she's nice?
Does my sister seem sad afterwards?
I don't think so.
Yeah, sometimes I think maybe people put all of their energy into one thing a little too much. Her job is taking care of people. That's where she goes at nighttime. She works at a place where we take care of people, old people. And I hear she's great at it. But maybe by the time she's done there, all of her energy's gone. I don't know. I have no idea, Puka. I'm going to be honest. You're the person. I have not spoken this much to a human being in a long time.
It's not really. Human.
Well, humans. Sorry. Sentient being?
Puka?
Puka. Well, you're the only Puka I've ever talked to, so. Are you still chill, just like eating bread and milk and hanging out here all day?
Yes, it's better than where I was.
Oh, yeah. Did I tell you that he's gone? The grave guy you wanted to piss on, gone. Everything up in flames. Wild. Is your pee flammable?
I don't think so.
Okay, just checking. Mental note. It really was. It was completely gone. But I mean, I still... I deposited your jar.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. She cries. George is gonna get up, and go into the quintessential drunk girl in the kitchen quietly, like a little tiptoe, and look for like a post-it or something. And she's just gonna write on it, "Milk in the fridge is fresh. Love you, Mom," with a heart and a G, and just stick it to the fridge and then go back in her room and lay down. It's an experiment. Social experiment.
Okay.
And she'll probably just lay back, arms behind her head, and kind of stare at the ceiling and, small talk with Puka.
Yeah.
As he...
Puka doesn't really do small talk, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's probably me and him going, "No, not really. I don't know."
Yeah.
Which is honestly kind of probably relaxing considering all the, meeting Isabella and asking all the questions and just all the information she's gotten from all these people infinitely smarter than her. It's probably kind of nice to talk to someone that knows nothing.
Yeah, Puka kind of has his own little kind of pocket of knowledge, and everything else is just guessing and very bad explanations.
It's supplemental. I kind of dig it.
Yeah. Very
oh, I might mention Isabella, though.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably be rambling, staring at the ceiling, talking about my day. I'm sure I do this probably nightly to Puka, just and then this happened, and then this happened. Do you know what that is? I don't know. Not really. Okay, well, then this happened. And I'll probably mention Isabella somewhere in there. So if he knows anything about it, that they know anything about it, Puka.
No, just kind of, the same kind of yes, all that kind of thing.
But I was thinking I'd just mention it because Puka's the one that told me about the Minotaur up in the mine.
Yes.
And now I know Isabella's the one going to go take care of that. So I'd probably be like, and then this badass in these huge heels shows up named Bella or something. And she's apparently going to take care of the mine. You know the mine you told me about? I know. Wild. God, she was hot. Okay.
Yeah. And I
just a girl in her Puka.
Unless you have anything else you'd like to bring up with Puka, or I think we'll probably...
I think I've done plenty.
We'll probably fade out and away from that. And swish across Quail Town up to the north, up to a very, very different looking area. Where Tori, you are in your room.
Okay.
And yeah.
What? So late at night, I assume.
After having late, yeah.
After having gotten back.
Yeah.
Tori is indeed just sort of getting ready for bed. Getting ready to settle down for the night, though it's hard to do that after you've become a huge monster a little earlier, and dealing with that.
Would she look at her
process.
body for signs of it?
Absolutely,
I was gonna think I would. I'd be like, are there holes?
every fucking inch, right? You gotta check. But that's sort of happened earlier, if you know what I mean. I feel like that was probably something.
Probably immediate. She probably went to the bathroom,
Yeah. Mirrors and angles and whatever you can manage.
Yeah.
I think she's probably, if it's late, her door's probably closed to her room.
Yeah.
And she's got a side lamp on a bedside table, but otherwise she's trying not to make too much noise or just generally cause any disturbance in the place. She's got a book out from her shelf of vaguely questionable reading material. And has been sort of lying back on the bed, trying to relax, pajama clad.
Good luck.
Question.
Yeah.
Because even though your mom is not around that much, when she is, I imagine there have been times in the earlier days when she would just, kind of charge into your room essentially without knocking and stuff. Would they have had that conversation where the teenager is like, Mom, you have to knock before you come in my room?
I mean, you absolutely know the boundaries conversation has happened, but also, like, do moms ever listen to that conversation? You know, like, I don't know of any that do.
Bust in with an armload of laundry. Oh, I'm sorry. Are those drugs?
Yeah, come in with the laundry basket, like, oh, you have company in here. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Moms.
In that case, at a certain point, your mom opens the door and like walks in while at the same time kind of vaguely knocking on the side of it as she kind of like sweeps in.
It's a little bit surprising because it's like later.
Yeah.
And sort of the house was quiet when she got back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's a like sort of sit up from the bed and like slightly surprised, like, oh, I didn't think anybody was awake.
Yeah, just wanted to have a quick word with you, and I was going to do it earlier, but I forgot. I had to go and do a couple of things, but I'm here now, and Victoria, your father and I would very much appreciate it if you could be a bit more present in the next week or so. We need your help. We'd like you to come home earlier after school so you can look after the twins. Seeing as I'm here for hopefully another week, unless anything crops up, it's a good chance for your father and I to, you know, spend some time together, to go out and, you know.
But Tori's just gonna like shuffle to the edge of the bed, you know, because you know her bed is big enough. You gotta shuffle to get to the edge of it from the middle, you know, and like sit on the edge of the bed.
Get out the climbing gear and.
She says like, but you know, Mom, the twins are really happy to have you around. They don't see you that much. Like, I think they would really like to spend time with you, you know?
Well, I know what you're saying, but unfortunately, I just don't have the minutes in the day to do everything I need to do. I'm going to need you to help me pick up the slack in certain parts, and you know, you're going to have to, while your father and I we're going to go out. We're going to go into the city and, you know, maybe catch a show. The things we don't get to do when I'm away. You know, we're going to need you to look after the twins, you know, make sure they're okay and everything.
Mom, I think you should make time for them, you know? And, like, I know you want to go and do things with Dad, but I spend a lot of time with them already, you know? Like, when you're not here.
I mean, since I've been back, I've seen no evidence of that. I mean, you come in late, you know, it's barely in time for curfew even, and you know, your father and I have had a talk, and we feel like you need to pick up the slack a little bit here.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna say here.
How impulsive is Tori around her mom?
Shit.
Tori would be fucking pissed at this assessment, given that her mom is like absentee, basically. Like, you're
I mean,
telling
from what
me
we've
I don't
seen,
put in
Tori
enough
is
time?
mom.
Like, yeah.
Right? Like, that's the
Jesus,
impression
yeah.
I got, is that Tori is mom at home. Like, she gets the twins ready, gives them breakfast and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, recently she's
That's-
been busy, but like
Less so recently, but in general,
that was like
for years.
I mean, Mom is here, right? Like, I don't need
Yeah.
to do the
This is
mom
your
stuff.
freedom time.
Yeah.
You're a fucking teenager. You
Um,
shouldn't be a mom.
All right. Tori's just gonna be like, you know, there's a moment of like annoyed silence, if you know what I mean. That like she wants to say no, right?
Mm.
And then I think she's just gonna say a little more forcefully, You should make time for the twins. They need you around.
Question. Is that infused, or is that just...
Oh, yeah. When I say forcefully, I mean magically.
Yes.
There is a... maybe like 2-second pause where your mother kind of staring right at you as you say this, and after a couple of seconds she says, Victoria, don't be silly. Now I'm just asking you for a favor, okay? And as your mother, I expect you to be able to do these things. Now, I won't hear any more backtalk, okay? For the next few days, at the very least, I want you back after school and I want you looking after the twins. Do you hear me? And, I imagine this takes Tori quite a bit by surprise.
It's very surprising, yes,
So-
but she would not be vulnerable to the thing that every lot of people are.
What I'm going to do very quickly is the camera side swipes, and it goes back to a moment when Tori was leaving the bank after chatting with Gray, and just replays the scene where where Tori asks why her power doesn't work on him, and he says, I don't believe you. And it sideswipes back to Tori's face.
Why would that have to do with her mom, though? I like.
Yeah.
I think Tori, rather than letting this like shake her into like, oh, and I will just agree, turns a little more assertive. Like, this is gonna be an argument now, you know, like a real one. You know, like, I don't know, so if it doesn't work, if mental compulsion doesn't work, we'll just argue.
Yeah.
And she's gonna say, I don't think that's fair. I spend time with them. I take care of them all the time when you're not here. And I also have a life that I need to see to. You know? I can't just be here all the time.
I know that, but you haven't been here since I've been back, and honestly, we've noticed, both your father and I have noticed that you've been distracted. You haven't been helping out with the twins. You haven't been helping out around the house. And, you know, until you manage to get into university or go to college or decide to travel after you finished high school, we need you here. And seeing as you're going to be here, you're going to have to help out around the place.
I don't know, Mom. I think it's not unfair of you to make like these kind of demands on me, given how much I already do. Like, you're in another country 9 months out of the year.
I am.
And I like to see you. I like when you visit, and it's always good to see you. But you know, it's a lot, right?
And she walks over to you and sits down and sits down on your on the bed next to you, and she says, Tori, I have responsibilities too. Shows in Paris, in London. I'm always traveling. I don't have that much time to come home. I'd love to come home more, but all that would be is just a promise that I'd have to break. And I don't want to do that. You know,
But maybe you and Dad could do something with the twins, or, you know, like, why am I babysitting them while you're here?
do you remember one of your friends when you were a kid, a little scruffy girl? What was her name?
Tori thinks for a moment. Like, when I was a kid, like, how old?
6 or 7, I think.
You're probably talking about George.
Yes. What was it? Georgette or something? Strange name.
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between our family and hers?
No, Mom, tell me what the difference is.
We have jobs that require us to do a lot more work, but also come with a lot more benefits. Both your father and I are paid well, and we have managed to build something here that allows us to have you live in the house with your own rooms and your car and all of these things. The alternative is you would see us more and we'd be in a house like the one your friend lived in.
What an asshole.
Your mom is a fucking bitch.
Yeah, she's the worst. But you know, moms, am I right?
Hey, it's all about playing a good villain. Someone said that earlier.
It's
Yeah,
you.
no, I'm
You are on
into it.
fucking fire. Live for it.
But
I think
but you are
Tori-
not Christopher Lee.
What was my response to that? Having been to George's place recently.
No.
I think Tori just says, and you want me to be able to build something too, right? You want me to support myself, be sufficient, get good grades, participate in all my activities, make good friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. That's, I'm trying to live up to that expectation. And I can't be
mean,
here after school every day and do that.
Well, I'm just not seeing the results. For example, when we came to your swim meet, you did amazingly, but I mean, the rest of your team were subpar at best.
They were all doing their best, she says, remembering telling them to do their best, literally.
Well, I'm just saying that you would expect the captain to push them harder, to get results. That's essentially your job as the captain.
I do everything I can with what I have. And if that's not enough for you, I mean, I don't know what to say, right?
I'm not saying it's not enough. I don't know, maybe my expectations are too high. But I just feel that you can do more.
I can do a lot more, Mom. Just not at your beck and call, right?
Oh, no, of course, not at my beck and call, but for now, you'd still have to live under this roof, you know? You are part of this family, and you need to carry your weight, the same as we all do. Okay?
Sure, Mom.
Okay. And she light pat on her shoulder. Good. I'm glad that's all cleared up. get some good rest, and don't forget tomorrow after school to come back and look after the twins. Yes.
Tori just like shrugs.
Brilliant. Okay. Good night, Tori. And she sweeps out, door closes.
As the door is closing, Tori's just like, big fuck you energy.
Yeah.
And there's this resolve, like the inner monologue is like, oh, it's when I live under this roof, is it? Like the expectations on me are too high. You don't think I can do what I'm doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like these kinds of things. And through her head, she's just like, I can do much more than she could even know. But also, my power didn't work on her, so something's going on.
Yeah. I'll also say, like, we probably like have a little bit of a flashback kind of moment to when she first came in the house, and she's like, oh hey kids, and a little bit weird and awkward, and she's like, how old are you now, kind of stuff like that. So just going over, and probably also going over a few other times where you've had confrontations of a degree to this with her before, which have invariably gotten more contentious as you've gotten a bit older. When you were like a young teenager, like 11 and 12 and stuff, you went along with it more. You were a lot more like trying to please as opposed to being confrontational, but things have switched as time has gone.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like Tori always wants to make her parents happy, right? Like that's part of why she is the person that she is, right? Like this whole like buildup of like success and popularity and grades and sports and what have you is very much like high expectation, right? And like a desire to succeed up to and above that expectation.
Yeah.
So for her mom to be like, maybe my expectations are too high, it was like,
that was possibly the worst part.
Crushing. It's crushing, right? Which is why after that, yeah, she was just like, okay, argument's over, right? Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you hit that kind of like passive, just like waves over you, where you're just like,
it's the whole like, it's clear she's not listening, right? But yeah, I think she kind of just like goes back to her bed and like tries to sleep, doesn't sleep,
like lights go off, and then there's just kind of this like lying there in the dark, kind of quiet, and maybe a little bit oppressive darkness for once, just feeling a little bit stuffy.
I look forward to creating problems on purpose tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Okay. And we fade away and out of that as all of the residents of the QT slowly fall asleep and drift off into dreamland. And speaking of dreamland, Will.
Bonjour. No, wait. Wrong character. Hi.
You are asleep.
Yes, I am.
You know so because you studied and you went to bed.
Oh, that tracks.
Yes.
Yep. I'll just check my notes here. Yes, that seems accurate.
Which doesn't explain why you find yourself standing in a very low lit room at the best of times, staring up at a cage.
Oh. Okay. Is it just a cage in here, or is it like other stuff as well?
Pretty empty aside from the cage.
Okay.
And as you're kind of stood there, like it's a big little thing, and the cage itself is like, you see the bars.
Wait, I need clarification. When you say a big little thing,
Sorry, big old thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
you're contradicting yourself a little bit. Okay, it's a big old thing.
Big
Okay,
old
it's
thing.
a big cage. Okay.
And the bars themselves are kind of lit by this kind of light source from nowhere, but the like contents of the cage itself is shadowed.
Yeah.
Like, you've been here before, so you
Okay.
aren't super surprised when a couple of eyes, big eyes kind of floating in that darkness, like, open up.
Is the cage on the ground in front of me, or like hanging from a chain or something?
On the ground, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hello.
Back again.
I I didn't hear what he said.
Back again.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. How are you?
Bored.
Well, does seem like a boring place to be.
I dislike being chained.
Yes, I should imagine so.
And as the eyes like kind of move in the darkness very slightly, you hear this like clink of chains.
Oh, okay. So actual chains. Okay. Yep. Will is kind of squinting into the darkness, see if he can like penetrate the darkness to see anything at all, or is it just the eyes?
Just the eyes.
Okay. So, what do you do to kill time in here?
I wait.
Oh, I'll bring you a pack of cards or something.
And I struggle.
Struggle with what?
Getting free.
Yes. Maybe no pack of cards then.
So, tell me, little man, why did you read my book?
I like reading. I find it liberating. And he chose that word specifically because the guy's in a cage.
And tell me, what are your plans now that you have been bestowed with my power?
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that actually. Is there nothing else to you? Because being able to see things, it's very nice and all, but it's limited utility, I think is the definition.
You are unsatisfied with the ability to see through lies and manifest flame.
Well, it's just you've noticed my friends, I take it.
I've seen them in the periphery of your vision.
Yeah, see, they've got magnificent things happening to them. And I just feel like this could be more to this.
There is no more than what I can do.
So, Will starts to pace, like, around the cage, walking around it, while talking. So he says, so, what's with the cage?
As a note, the eyes follow you. Almost
Yep.
like they're like a flat PNG, just like
Oh yeah, Duke Nukem
moving around
3D.
with
Okay,
you.
yeah, it's just a sprite. It's just a sprite rotating. Yeah, no. So what's with the cage?
The cage contains me, stops me from manifesting whenever I like.
Ah, I see. So if I opened the cage, you'd be out all the time.
All the time I desired.
Yeah, see, I imagined you decide quite a lot. Because if we're going to be sort of coexisting, I'm gonna need a little bit more than whenever you like. It's not really conducive to me helping you out. This is my mind you're encaged in.
Yes. Are you offering a deal?
Well, I'm open to suggestions, I expect. Why should I let you out?
You should not.
Ah.
Well,
That settles it then.
There is a king, and there is a horse. The king rides the horse. He does not ask it for advice.
So I should bring you sugar cubes instead of a deck of cards? Is that what you're saying?
You should beware of a time when you are dethroned and you become a horse.
I'm allergic, unfortunately. Well, you're not giving me a lot to work with here.
What is it that you want from me?
I would like to be able to manifest you without so much bloody resistance. It's always a struggle with you, getting you out when I need you. It's always a struggle. Yes.
And you hear the clink of chains
Okay.
coming a little bit closer as the eyes disappear and
Will is not close to the cage, by the way. He's not within
know.
like arm's reach or anything.
And stepping out of the shadows is you.
Okay.
Except for like arms crossed, kind of like flattened against himself with this like chain that's just wrapped around him. And you see the chain itself like disappearing off into the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, that resistance you feel is not actually me. That's you. You have a terrible hold on your emotions.
What else is new? Will looks at the counter. Oh, the reflective Will.
Sure.
And it looks up and down. Does he have the devil's eye or anything, or is it just it's just me?
Just Will.
Okay.
Just William.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, if I were more in control of my emotions, I could manifest whenever I wanted.
If you had the ability to access your emotions properly, you'd be able to bring to bear a little bit more power. Because honestly, what you've managed to bring to bear so far is embarrassing.
Really? Embarrassing for you or for me?
Embarrassing for all of us.
Will kind of furrows his brow. Okay. Well, I'll try to work on that.
Well, take your time if you want. It's no skin off my nose.
Oh, clearly. Well, I'll see if I can decide on a pack of cards or sugar cubes until next time.
That's it?
And Will's gonna turn around and try to wake up or try to get out of here in any way he can.
Yeah,
Pinch himself or whatever.
you turn around, you like pinch yourself, you like slap yourself.
Yeah. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Oh, fuck. How do I get out of here? This place. Oh, wake up eventually, I suppose.
Having little issues over there?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Can't get out of your shell?
Yes. What?
Well, just, wondering exactly what you're trying to do.
Trying to wake up.
Why?
I need some actual sleep. We've got studying tomorrow.
I mean, I thought maybe you'd be a little bit more curious about what you're able to do.
Will turns back around and goes, "Oh, fine. Tell me what else I'd be able to do if I were more in control."
Well, I mean, you'd be able to do a lot more than set a picnic table on fire.
Hey, that was a big step forward for me.
Was it? That's kind of sad.
I mean, being able to see things to being able to light things on fire by looking at them, I'd say that's a step forward.
I mean, it's not the most impressive thing we've seen, but, I mean, sure.
Yeah, well, I can't turn into a Hydra, can I?
Yes, that was quite impressive.
Yeah, giant freaking sea monster.
Maybe we should have gone with the angry
As opposed
teenage girl.
Yeah, as opposed to weaponized psoriasis. Thank you.
Well, it's a little bit more than that.
Well, that's what it looks like. What else can UI, whatever combination, do?
Well, I mean, you haven't really been utilizing it very well, but I guess you could, go and look for the supernatural beings that are dotted all around your piddly little town.
It is a piddly little town. I preferred England. But
I've never
the
been.
problem with that is you're quite obvious.
Right.
I'm not going to walk around wearing a... Oh, actually.
What, but like a pair of sunglasses?
No, that won't really hide... yeah, that would hide the eyes, but the red flicky thing. Can we stop with that? Can we just do the eye?
I mean, you're essentially summoning me.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yes. So, I mean, if you want to use the thing, you have to have me there.
Yeah, so I'd have to wear something though, like a motorcycle helmet or something.
Look a little bit strange wandering around town with that.
Yeah.
Or you could just do it in situations where there aren't people around. It's kind of a dead town.
That is absolutely true.
Getting
It
deader
is
by the day.
Also true. Especially now that George has started eating the dead. Well, okay. So, what else would you be able to do? What would we be able to do more than look at things and light them on fire after staring at them for half an hour intently?
Well, with a little bit of effort and training, you might be able to actually summon the fire.
Oh.
Not the fire that you managed to do, the flame.
Mm-hmm. And how is that different?
Oh, well, it's actually a bit more useful. I mean, unless you're looking to set fire to a couple of houses or something. If you're actually looking to do battle with anything supernatural, fire will only take you so far. The majority of them will either shrug it off or just ignore it, unless it's like a mummy or something, in which case, yeah, sure, that would probably work.
I would like a little bit something. George can eat things, and he can apparently rip things apart, or just spells or whatever. And
Well, I
Tori
mean,
can...
Cecilia can betray her friends.
Oh yes, that
Very
is
impressive.
absolutely very true. That I think backstabbing might be her special thing. It too, Cece, and Tori can talk people's ears off.
Literally.
I think that might have been a prerequisite to whatever turned into, Oh yeah, and then the thing, yeah. I don't really have anything that's actively useful. Like, did you see? I take it you saw the thing in the hospital, yeah, or what tried to be in the hospital?
Oh yes. The god.
Yeah, so called.
So cool.
Yeah, I didn't feel particularly useful.
No, well, you are unable to summon the flame for a start, and you didn't need to track it or to sense anything, look through its disguise.
Yeah.
If you were wanting to utilize me properly, you'd be out looking to uncover the hidden ones.
Oh.
Or seeing where the highest concentration of them are. Where are they going? What are they doing?
Reconnaissance is what you're saying.
Reconnaissance, tracking, if you are indeed part of a supernatural hit squad looking to hunt down supernatural beings and capture them or destroy them, then surely your utility would be best used in a situation where you find them for the dangerous people.
Will is now toying with the idea of becoming like... It's also, I have to remember that he's still a kid, kind of. So his idea of himself is laced with like spy movies and thrillers, and it's like, oh my god, I could become like a supernatural CIA spy, but for my friends. So that's his idea of. He's probably read a couple of Tom Clancy
Sounds
books
good,
at this
Will.
point.
He's already come up with a code word.
Oh yeah, definitely. He'd be like Snake or something.
Maltese Falcon.
He was coming up with code names for all of us at the beginning.
Yeah,
I remember
fair.
that from
That is
ages
absolutely
ago.
fair.
Yo, yeah, he's been on it.
It's not a case of he's come up with a code name. He has come up with several code names. So it's like, okay, well, that's an idea.
And of course, if you can tap into that anger, that cold fury you have in you, could take you some nice steps towards the flame.
So what is this flame apart from literal fire?
I don't believe you saw it. I remember your friend George talking about it a little bit. That there was the fire that like burned her soul.
Okay. I don't remember that, but maybe Will does.
That was in the cafeteria. George told you about it later when.
Oh, okay.
Well, essentially, there's like a knight summoned like a blue flame and hit her with it, and it felt like it was like scouring her being.
Oh yeah. Blue flame. I remember now
Yeah.
because I made the Ink joke.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that is a possibility, though that flame originates from where we come from.
And where is that?
You know, a hell, another dimension, a hellscape, a plane of fire and agony and torture. Well, you know, that type of thing.
Sounds very cheerful.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Okay. Is this better though? The cage? I've at least here it's not. You know, everything's on fire. But then again, you are in a cage.
I am in a cage, yes.
Hmm.
And I am, not to put too fine a point on it, at the whims of a snotty-nosed king.
Will completely involuntarily goes. see if he's got anything dripping off his nose.
Yeah.
And he goes like, yeah, well, the king's subjects are being a bit dickish.
Maybe if he used us properly, we wouldn't complain as badly.
Maybe. But it's still going to be just the eye, or is it going to be like, is it going to spread? Am I going to be able to hear whispers from 4 miles away? What?
Oh, well... The eye is me.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know about any of the other things, you should talk to the others.
I beg pardon?
Yeah, the others. And he, like, jerks his thumb back towards the darkness. And as he does, eyes just start to open up in the dark. Like 5, 10, 20, 30, 100. Just blinking open, all staring at you. And all of the pupils, most of them are red. There's a few kind of like emerald, there's a few kind of like purple and like weird colors. But they all at the same instance like snap to you and stare into you. And you jerk awake. Like gasping a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I imagine Will wakes up with a oh bugger.
And
Sweaty.
pitch dark in your room.
Okay. I have one more thing that I want to do before we leave.
That's
I want to manifest like right away.
The eye?
Yeah. And see if it's like still there or I've been cut off or something.
Alright. In the dark, you access the emotions, the you know.
Yeah.
Anger, I'd say more than rage or fury or anything. It's resentment mostly.
Yeah, but there's a sprinkling of fear going on right now.
Oh yeah. I would say because of that, it like there's a little bit of resistance again.
Okay.
You know, just that like the worry.
Do you want me to roll for it?
I would say in this instance no, because you have the time and you're just sitting there. You know, like
Yeah.
it is your power. You know, It is something you can do.
It is the classical scenario of I take 20.
Yeah, you take a little time and it does manage to manifest and it's still there and you can feel the scales. You can see the difference through that vision of that eye.
Do I hear anything? And Will's like concentrating on listening for any kind of whispery voice or anything at all. If he doesn't hear anything, he will ask in his head at first, like, are you still there? Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. I doubt he will be able to go back to sleep. I don't think he wants to.
Yeah. So camera moves away, probably out through the window.
Yeah.
As well as kind of like sitting there with his eye out. Just kind of like, I'm not sure I want to go to sleep, to be honest. And we shift over to the bank. Cecilia, you had been walking forwards, closer to the center of the room. You had the mirrors on all sides. Like, the room itself is quite dark with very like low lights, kind of lighting things up. With a what looked like the kind of like layout of the back room, like the cashier area, and etc. Further forward in front of you, and then a few offices kind of like laid out, decked out in mirrors and things. And in the center, you know, kind of where the manager's office was kind of like a blacked out glass mirror type looking square. Behind you, as you walk forward, the mirror starts to ripple on the floor, and the dome of a head comes up, and past that, the face of the bank manager and the shoulders as she slowly steps out of the mirror behind you. And as she starts to move towards you, you not being able to see this, do however get a impulse, let's say, to essentially jump out the way.
Yeah. As I was walking to the door of the black cubicle, as I get like the little shiver like down my spine, I immediately like duck and roll.
Yeah.
Basically.
And like as you duck and roll and kind of turn around, you see this woman in like a suit and kind of standing there. She just got like swiped her arms and where you were supposed to be.
Oh, hey, that was totally, and she takes like a few steps away, like to have some distance, and she's like, that was totally unnecessary. You're the, and she like tries to squint and look if there's like a tag or anything, and she's like, you're the manager of the place.
What are you doing here?
We see you, you've been kind of preying on people. You've been kind of doing things you shouldn't be doing. It's not really nice.
That's just my nature. It's what I am. Are you with the other girl? Did she send you here?
No? You had visit before?
Yeah, someone like you.
Right. Someone like me.
Except for
I don't have a twin walking around.
They didn't look like you, they were just like you. Except that they weren't able to penetrate my domain. How did you do that?
Well, it comes back to the thing again, you know. You have been doing some things that aren't good, and it's I would ask if you would stop, but I don't think you can. So I mean, I could ask if you could like just go away and leave QT and just stop.
I don't believe I will.
Can you speak up a bit more?
I don't believe I will.
You sure about that?
I never chose to be here in the first place.
One would ask the question about why you came here then.
I don't think I did come here.
But you are here, so that means you must have come here.
I came to being here.
Uh, you possess the bank manager?
No.
You were always this person?
I am a reflection.
Pretty sure you're a bit more than a reflection.
And she puts her hand to her side, and then a pane of glass rises from the floor. And then once it kind of reaches about head height, it starts to flick through images of like hallways and bathrooms, and it like one of the ones you notice is like the school bathroom. You know, it like looks like it's kind of looking on some cubicles, and then it's like a person's house, and then it's like a really dark, you know, kind of like room somewhere. You're not really sure where it is. I can take form from people. I took this one.
Uh-huh. Uh. All right. Hmm. And there's like a moment where Cecilia is like thinking like, I don't know how to deal with this. This is kind of getting awkward. It's like, should I keep talking? Should I just like get to it? Uh, and I need to, I guess I'll ask you. They basically came up behind me, and the entire floor is made out of mirrors as well, right?
The floor, the ceiling, the walls, everything, yeah.
Yes. Can I, as such, conclude or strategize that this person may be able to just move through mirrors?
Still safe bet.
Yes, I thought so. Question. When I cast my protection,
Yeah.
can I make it so that it's like, it's an area that I can also hold them in or not? Like, hold the both of us in or not? I don't know how I can envision it.
So, with the protection incantation, it essentially sets up a little shield bubble, essentially a spiritual shield bubble.
Yeah.
The more you've practiced, the better you are at it.
Yes.
You can project it further away from you and also manipulate its shape, like Mr. Knight did with the I want to say Hueco Mundo, but that's wrong. With the capybara. No, it's the other thing.
Capybara.
Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. There we go. Thank you. Sorry.
Capybara.
It's pretty close,
Yeah.
except chupacabra means goat sucker, which is slightly different than the big rodent.
Yes. All right. Addition,
I'd
or
say
I guess
if you wanted to like project a shield and kind of like trap her, probably need to make a roll.
I think I would need to make a roll. Yes.
Yeah.
And
CC would be very aware that it is something she has not practiced much at all.
Yeah.
And probably hasn't had much success in.
Oh God, that's a difficult one because if she, I still think she would try to do it because it's like she is slowly getting this feeling of pressure to perform.
Yes.
Very much becoming aware that this is all very awkward for her because she has never been in the situation where she needed to make the first step to become aggressive, basically,
Yeah.
or become offensive, and so it's like that mix of it being awkward to know, like, all right, shit, well, you're saying some stuff, but you're like a bad person or entity, and like I need to get rid of you because, like, hey, look in the corner, you can't see him, like Mr. Knight is watching. So it's like, yeah, so
strategize for a second with your fellow classmates, etc.
you need to go pee.
I need to pee so bad. Like, I have. There's not been a chance where I have not been playing an NPC, so.
It's always Sheepy always says, "Hey, if anyone needs to go to the bathroom before, just go do it now." He never does it himself. Either that or his bladder is the size of a Brazil nut.
We can be schoolmates.
Basically, everyone else has gone to pee, gone off, already today. So it's not like I'm the only one, all right?
Just go, Sheepy. Just
go
go.
ahead. Go and pee. God. It's so awkward for Cecilia to stand there and be like, oh, right, yeah, I'm supposed to do this thing.
Yeah, you have to actually destroy this creature.
Yeah, the moment it said, like, oh, but it's in my nature to do so, it's like, oh.
I feel like Cecilia's got pretty natural, like, take charge instinct.
Yeah.
So, like, even before she had powers, because she's so, like, I don't want to say it, alone. It's so dark to say, but she literally has kind of raised herself. So she kind of has, like, maybe it's independence or something like that, but she thinks a lot, but I've never seen her, like, hesitate. Or I couldn't see it. She's kind of got, you know what I mean? Because, like, when you're a kid and you don't have parents around to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like necessity. You just kind of become that person on accident. She might not see it in herself, though. Which is sad.
Oof.
I don't want to say that. I'm sorry. I love Cecilia. She breaks my soul.
Yeah, but problem is, like, she has a very much the pressure of Night and having to, like, the pressure of performing for him, because it's like, I want to make this person proud, so this is what I'm gonna do. Like, more than anything else.
Did he already teach you the, like, that one, what was the spell? It was the, like, obliterate something, or, oh god, there's a word for
Degradation.
Degradation. Did he teach you that one? Or is this the he did already teach it, so you have
time to blow it up.
Oh shit, B. And you've never tried it? He just kind of gave you the...
No, yeah, tried it, kind of trained it.
He's just gonna give this bank manager the boring conversation anyway.
Apologies. I was like earlier in the episode. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need to pee at some point.
You're good, Sheepy.
It's all good.
Usually I go when you guys are having like a character thing, but
it hasn't happened yet.
It has not happened today.
You didn't plan ahead, did you?
Yeah. Dude, I have the same problem, but I never want to leave because then there's a space in my notes and I feel empty inside. I hate it so much.
Yes. So, I think she will try to do it because she's like, oh, imagine if this works and I can impress him that way. So she will stand there and just, like, awkwardly have a pause in the conversation and just go like, yeah, right, sorry, just give me, like, 1 second. And then she starts, like, chanting. So yeah, she starts...
Just give me 1 sec.
She starts chanting for the incantation of protection to try and cast it around this manager, basically.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I will also have to roll, right?
Yes.
All right.
Let me take a look at the...
For the people who haven't heard it before, she just starts, like, quietly saying, like, but I think she's also, like, whispering it because she, like, wants it not to pay any attention, but it's literally quiet in there. So she goes like, Shelter me, world, for I have strayed and require sanctuary. The night grows darker, the wolves prowl at the threshold, succor my soul and hold back the darkness. And she like, but she says it a bit quietly.
I would say, let's go for a. I think change the game in this instance would probably be the one that would make sense. So for this, I would say anything to do with concentration and mental kind of strength and power. So I would allow Girl Boss. Also high energy.
All right. But wouldn't. Yeah, sure.
I would say hardworking
I was about to say, like, I think. But.
and overachiever.
All right.
I would also say instinct.
Oh, wouldn't you say desperate for recognition?
Yes, as well.
Yeah.
Instinct is a useful one because essentially you can find yourself instinctually coming to an answer, you know, instinctually following like a pathway.
Yeah.
But desperate for recognition is definitely a weakness.
Yeah, the only reason she's trying to do, well, it's not the only reason, but there's a big part of it that's like, oh, I want to impress Knight.
I would also say fight or flight because you have not. You were very hesitant to engage. I think Cecilia, even still now, hasn't, you know, decided on the fight quite.
I want to add it totally, but the thing is, like, she doesn't have the instinct to flight because, like, it's literally in this moment, she's like, I can't run away from this. Like, Knight is watching this. Like,
That's fair.
I need to do something here. I can't just run away.
Which is where the desperate for recognition does come
Yeah.
in. Okay, yeah. You're right. Okay, yeah, go for that.
Change the game. That's a mild success.
Mild
a
success.
9.
Okay. So you chant and you feel the energy, this kind of spiritual shield start to form, and you even manage to give it shape a little bit. It's not quite a kind of like rectangle cube, but it does kind of start to take this kind of form around this the bank manager, just kind of like a little kind of blue shimmer around her, which encloses her from above and all around her from the sides. And after a second, she kind of like reaches out and touches it and gets like repelled a little bit. Maybe like a little static spark of electricity hits off it, and she says, "That's quite impressive."
Whew. This is all gonna be over soon.
However, I imagine that this is probably one of your first encounters like this.
We're still doing the talking. Yeah, sure.
I just feel like you didn't consider all possibilities when you approach this way. And as she says that and like leans very slightly further towards you, she just starts to slowly sink into the mirror at her feet.
You mean I didn't manage to close the fucking feet yet? God damn it!
And she just slowly sinks until her eyes go under the floor and she disappears.
There's like a moment of like question in Cecilia's mind because like in her mind this was like an enclosed, like this was a closed like circle, like sphere. In her mind it was like, oh, I have it, great. And like the moment she just like watches the lady sink and sees that there's like that it wasn't closed at the bottom, she's just like, and she like curses. Yeah, she probably even like says like, fuck Cecilia.
From over towards the door, you hear Mr. Knight say, "That was a very good barrier, especially for your first attempt at projection and manipulation of the barrier."
And she, when he starts talking as well, but the moment the lady sinks into the floor, Cecilia is like looking around. She is, because essentially now the lady can be anywhere, so she like watches everything closely, especially like mirrors like close to her, but it's also difficult because it's like all reflected. And she just says like, I uh just a small hitch. I'll
Cecilia, don't worry. Breathe. If needed, I can step in. But so far, you are doing very well for your first time.
Yes, you certainly will not need to step in. I will be perfectly fine. I will handle this. Um and then she like a bit softer says like, I just need to find out where she is. And she like looks around. Um
As you look around, the floor of the mirrors ripples again, and the dome of her head, and she slowly pushes up from the mirrors again, a little bit in front of your barrier that you put up, just outside of it.
yeah, well, I can let the barrier fall, right? I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
break
yeah,
that
yeah.
concentration because it's useless at this point.
Yeah, the barrier kind of like flickers us for a little bit and then fades away.
Yeah.
And she comes back up and she says, "So you're attempting to capture me, I guess."
Not really capture. You're making a bit difficult with all the mirrors. Um, y- y- uh, yes, wait, can I, and I like, she looks down on the floor, and when she was walking, when Cecilia walked into the room, did her feet make any noise as if she was actually walking on mirrors?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Because I thought like, oh, I could break it, but I probably can't if it's not making the sound of mirrors.
You could try.
Uh, yeah, well, I don't know, but it's an assumption at this point. Uh, she just like looks down and then realizes that she can't like try to break the mirrors, and she looks up and she's like, um, yeah, it's my first time. How did you guess?
Intuition.
Oh, great. Someone called it instinct. Um, she like looks to right and left and then just says like, okay. Takes a deep breath and starts chanting again, but like the lady could. Yeah, okay. So I'll say she starts chanting, but I'm pretty sure you will say like, oh, the lady will just like leave and but like when she's mid-sentence somewhere. Uh so she starts chanting and she's like, calm yourself. Um, one for my mother, two for my father, three for my brother, and four for my sister. Freezing flame, unholy source, come from the depths and bend to my will, scour the soul of mine enemy, and burn away their being.
And a blue flame starts to form in your hand and flicker and move, even though there's no wind in here. And you find yourself with essentially like a... So, the way this can work is you can essentially fireball it and throw it. You can expand it a little bit. You're not amazing with expanding it. Or you can shoot it almost like a, you know, like a hand flame. You know, you just go like...
Um, can she just briefly kneel down and hold it against like one of the mirrors just to see like if it reflects and if it like stops at the mirror like surface. Like
Yeah.
just at her feet.
Yeah. So you kind of crouch down and you like run it over the mirror.
Yeah.
Like where you run it over the mirror starts to crack, and like big jagged kind of cracks run through it, and it goes.
And she like does that briefly and she's like, "Oh. Huh. So it doesn't just crack, but it so I could do this." And she throws the fireball at the woman's feet.
Okay. And the fireball goes, and it moves across the room. The bank manager is still standing there, and it kind of like the fireball hits the mirror at her feet, around her feet, and like spreads along as it cracks. It spreads along the cracks, and it moves in this kind of like, and the entire area under her feet starts to crack and blacken, and the fire itself like surges along and then up her as she gets set on this kind of like blue fire. As she does, she starts to scream like ah! As the flames like move up her, she starts to crack, like cracks move up her, and the flame kind of moves up her as well, and she kind of like while screaming and while thrashing, she essentially like falls to the ground and shatters, and just bits of glass go everywhere.
I think like the moment Cecilia did the thing at her feet and
Yeah.
realized the glass and stuff, there was this like moment where she forgot that she was like banishing something, right? It was like a moment of, oh, I figured this out. Like, look, like I did this. You know, it's like it was a moment of pride where it was like, oh fuck, I did this. Like I figured this out. So that means I can do this. And it was like purely strategical and mathematical. And she was like maybe even smiling out of like pride there. But the moment she tosses that and then sees that the flames like engulf this woman and she starts screaming and cracking, like the smile of pride it just slowly like sinks, and it's like this small thought of like from going from oh shit I did this
To
to
oh shit, I did this.
oh shit I did this. And it's like that moment of she's never banished someone before.
And as she's standing there, kind of looking at the destroyed remains of the bank manager and the cracked glass everywhere, you feel like a small vibration, just kind of like a vroom, and the cracks of the glass start to reform. The blackened areas start to disappear, and then ripples form in the glass on the floor, and a domed head starts to come out, and the bank manager rises from the glass.
Just for my clarification,
Yeah.
is the only thing that's healing up basically the bank manager itself, or is everything on the floor
Everything on the floor like
also healing up?
reforms and resets, and it smooths out into a glass form. And as she fully forms out of the ground, this glass, she says, "Well, I guess that answers the question as to whether you're trying to kill me."
Um, yeah. Yes. Uh, uh, but clearly you're not dead, so it was all just, practice. Uh, um,
I'm notoriously hard to kill.
oh, really? And it's like the duality of like one piece of her mind saying like, "Oh, really? Hard to kill? Hmm? Great first roll." And then but like immediately after that, it's like, oh, but he sent me on this like hard thing because he thinks I can do it. So it's like immediately switching to that.
And the bank manager says, seeing as you threw a fireball at me, it seems like you seem to be one of the more at range type fighters. How confident are you in close combat? And she starts walking towards you.
She through her knees and like gets into like a position of like come at me
Yeah.
basically.
Just kind of like,
But she does take like a step back as well. And she's like, but it's not like this. It's basically like palms out, like she has done so many times with like animals. And she's like, look, it doesn't have to be this way. You must realize that what you're doing is just wrong. Like, I know you say it's in your nature, but it doesn't change the fact that it's wrong. I heard a roll, Sheepy.
she takes as she gets close to you, she kind of like pulls back her shoulder and takes a swing at your face.
I I like Celia is not expecting this to become like a fist fight, so
Yeah.
she like just tries to roll out of the way.
Okay. In that case, give me a I will say probably take a risk, I think would be the most makes the most sense here.
Sure.
Anything physical and agile would fit here.
Yeah. Sure.
So straight off the
I have high energy. I have judo brown belt. I have
judo definitely
stamina.
would help. Stamina, yes. Instinct as
instinct.
well.
Yeah, but those were the only ones I had.
I would say yes in this instance. Although I do feel like in a lot of these instances, girl boss can kind of be argued for because it's very catch-all. But in this instance, I'm gonna say no.
I'll just leave it out. What do I roll?
That will be a take a risk.
Yes.
Essentially, because you're not like fighting back or yeah.
A great success.
Okay, yeah. So you essentially like as the fist comes in, it's nothing supernatural. It's a woman walking up towards you and just taking a swing at you. Basically, there's no extra speed. There doesn't seem to be super power behind it or anything, and you just essentially you don't even have to roll. You just kind of like move out the way and step back a couple of steps and take your stance again. And as she kind of like recovers from her swing, she takes a couple more steps towards you.
Cecilia like takes like a few steps back as well and just basically goes like I don't get why you are trying to make this into a this is all just a lot. Hey, let's try this. And as she like stands there and she's like trying to just get ready for like her to come at her again, basically, she starts chanting again.
Okay.
But this time it's a different one. Which she
Question.
doesn't know what effect it will have, yeah?
She doesn't have enough time to chant as
Okay.
Well, so what I'm saying is if you want, you can try and keep avoiding as you chant.
Well,
It's just she's coming at you, so if you stand there and charge, she's
yeah.
gonna get there before and take another swing. So
Yeah, I get it. I still think that in this moment, like Cecilia will basically try to take steps back and like avoid her
okay.
to chance because like in her head it's like why there's no reason in her head to make this like a physical like I'll punch you thing. Like in her head it's just like oh, I'm banishing you, you're a supernatural creature, hence
Mm.
I will use these things that I've been learned to do that. And it's like this is just doesn't fit into the picture. Like it's she just like she's not gonna punch back at this moment. She's
Yeah.
trying to just banish the woman and take her out of the state she's in. So I will definitely roll to see if I can avoid her while chanting.
So you don't have to roll because something happens as you're backing off and chanting. As you're like kind of backing off and you're getting into the chant, a couple of words in, you feel your back hit something, which stops you moving backwards and gives her an opportunity. She comes in and actually just fist in the stomach.
uh Cecilia like stumbles to the side a bit from that.
And as you get hit, I will say you feel it doesn't really feel like a human hand. It feels like you got hit by something solid, you know, like there's something a lot more solid than like bone and flesh. And as you do take that hit, you're pushed into this thing that you've stumbled against, and you hear the like shattering of glass as you essentially like stumble back away from her, having been hit, through this mirror that had been raised from the floor.
So like actually through?
Yeah, but like the thing itself just kind of shatters really easily. Like it was essentially just like a little plank of mirror glass essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you stagger back a few steps. You've been clocked in the stomach, and the woman essentially, the bank manager, like hit you and then pushed you back, and then she's standing there again.
Okay, but like honestly, I imagine that if you get hit by something very hard in the fucking stomach like that, you have the like very cliche like cough up a little blood thing.
I would say at the very least maybe a bit of like phlegm or phlegm bile, etc. Yeah, maybe like a little bit of blood.
Yeah. Yeah, so she stumbles back from that through the mirror and all of the like shattered pieces of it. Um and just goes oh mm, mm, uh, uh, oh you wanna right maybe shit no um
I
and she like
knew.
stumbles back a little bit and she tries to start chanting again.
And the bank manager like shakes her head and she's like, "I'm not gonna give you time," and she moves forward again, at you.
Uh yeah. CC tries to like maybe like half on the ground from like that hit through like the mirror. She like tries to stumble back, a hand on her stomach, and tries to start chanting. And as she's like going back, and stumbling back, like her hand on the ground, like she briefly thinks she sees like a little bit of a claw coming out, but she's like, and she like holds it back immediately, and she starts tries to start chanting and trying to like walk back from that basically.
And as she does, you hear Mr. Knight from way back in at the edge of the essentially the entrance where you left him. He shouts over towards you and says, "Cecilia, trust your instincts. What are they telling you?" And the bank manager like kind of pauses for a sec, looks around at him like kind of dismissively, and says, "Yeah." She doesn't say anything. She just yeah. My brain was like, what the fuck would she say then? Like, no, she doesn't say anything. She pauses, looks around at him dismissively, and then starts walking towards you again. Because you're still chanting, she still wants to stop that chant. So.
Oh, that fucking took me out of it. You just
Sorry.
She says.
She says nothing.
All right. Like the voice of night like snaps Cecilia out of it a bit as well, and like not expecting it because like for a moment she forgot that he was there.
Yeah.
And she's like still trying to keep her distance, still trying to move back, but like there's something boiling up in her. And she's like and maybe even like not even in her head, maybe like small, very softly muttering as a response to that. She's like, no, I can't do this. I don't want to feel bad again. I don't like it. It's not good. And she like tries to continue chanting.
Yeah. And in this instance, I will say, if you're going to try to like move out the way, stay out of range, dodge, etc., as opposed to fight and go for the chant, we'll do both of us with a toe-to-toe. So, yeah, sounds about right. Okay. Question.
Yes.
She's moving towards you. You're backing off your chanting. You have the opportunity to essentially finish your chant, or if you'd like to, instead of just dodging her or whatever, with a great success like that, you can, hit a judo throw or something, essentially, like take the fight to her in close combat. What I'll say contextually is like the way she's approaching you, the way she like reaches out, she has no fighting form, she has no kind of like professional. She's literally just like walking towards you and trying to hit you, basically, like a regular civilian would.
All right, yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a great idea because in this moment, I think Cecilia is like a little nagging thing in her. Is like she's like the incantations and stuff are not gonna work because I'm not gonna get the time to finish them.
Yeah.
And the immediate next step is like, no, I'm not gonna unleash whatever this is. I'm gonna do what I know, and I'm gonna be doing what I'm comfortable with, which is I'll just try to take her down the way I'm used to. So yeah, she will actually try to do a flip with her, and maybe try to flip her into one of the mirrors.
You as she kind of like, as you're chanting and backing off slightly, still in kind of like a stance of readiness, she kind of like draws back her hand again and kind of clunkily like goes to throw a fist at your face, and you just swivel very slightly, grab her arm and propel her over your shoulder, and she kind of does this kind of like flip fly where she's like upside down flying until she hits the ground a few meters away from you, at which point when she hits the ground she just shatters and it's like glass goes everywhere.
She
And then there's a faint vibration and the pieces of glass that have shattered everywhere slowly.
can she yeah can she like she Cecilia like took like one foot back and then like just was like, okay, yeah, this is like happening, and she gets ready in a position where she will immediately kick into the lady when she forms, or when like a part of her forms.
Yeah. And as Cecilia's like in a slightly, can I ask how's Cecilia feeling after having adrenaline up a little bit?
Very much still like the adrenaline there. Um, and she recognized the like feeling of wanting to fight and wanting to like beat this woman. She recognized that, but she was like scared of it. So she's trying to like that feeling is not gone, but she's trying to channel it into um just the trying to change her mindset as if as basically as if she is in a judo fight,
Yeah.
like almost in her head. It's
Okay.
like she even maybe for a moment forgot that like night is there and stuff. This is like supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Like at this moment she very much in her head tried to make the switch of like, okay, I'll take this whole situation and bring it to something I'm used to. Bring it to something I'm comfortable with.
In that case, I will say that after the throw, you take a stance that's a lot more bestial for a second. The hands are kind of more like, you know, extended out. The arms actually seem a little bit longer, and the muscles in the arms seem a bit more distended. Like
She
a
doesn't
bit.
notice.
Yeah, no, she doesn't notice. A bit distorted, a bit, you know, a bit more like. And again, can't see, but your teeth are a little bit more sharp, a little bit larger, and you hold that for a second as in your head you shift more into judo, into discipline, and etc. And you take a breath and you huff out, and as you huff out the breath, this kind of like steam like rushes out of your mouth, and you take more, you kind of relax a little bit, the arms get a little bit more relaxed and the hands relax, and you take more of a judo stance. And you hear from the corner, very good, Cecilia. Now if you could keep her busy for a little bit. And you hear Mr. Knight kind of push off the wall and start walking across the glass. Okay, let's hit a, I will say change the game. This is going to be running off your instincts.
Yes.
So obviously instinct is one of the ones that will
Just physical again?
this is a bit more senses.
Okay.
So I would say instinct and the alpha would definitely play a role here. I would say, considering you're still as much as you can be in your kind of like judo form and stuff, judo will play a part here as well. Let's have a look here.
I'll activate the weakness bestial.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so
I would say high energy as well, and in this instant, Girl Boss would work.
sure. Okay, what do I roll? I'm so happy I made Cecilia a girl boss.
That will be a change the game.
All right.
Okay.
Great success. So
Yes.
a 10.
Answer me this. When the bank manager starts to rise out of the glass again, you'll be able to sense and like get on that very quickly. Before she'll probably come out to about the shoulders. By the time you notice where it is and start to move towards her, this is going to happen a few times over the next like minute or so. Please describe to me the scene as the camera like floats above you of how, as Mr. Knight is walking across the center, kind of a little bit past you, does Cecilia go after the bank manager as she multiple times like rises out? Like, how does she go about this?
So I definitely imagine this as in like she calmed down a bit away from the bestial, and Knight asks her like, okay, keep her busy. So her only objective at this point is to make sure that this woman cannot fully recover. And so she starts running from point to point where she begins to see ripples in the mirrors, and starts like sweeping her leg out, starts sweeping her arm out, starts like running from piece to piece faster and faster as well. All very in a controlled manner where it doesn't look like she's running without a head. It looks like she is constantly in this kind of form where she looks like she could take someone down and she's prepared for anything. She is on very high alert. She like is basically looking at the entire room the entire time because she wants to catch this woman like as long as she needs to. Um and I think at first it starts like slower, more like methodical, but as time goes on, it starts becoming this very much of a thing where it's
She's,
maybe
like,
a bit faster than a human
leaping and pouncing
should do.
yeah.
And it's like it goes from this very strategic thing to basically leaping and maybe the forearms extending a bit as well again. But it's all in this zone. It's all in this like she probably doesn't notice it herself. Where she starts leaping faster and faster. And basically playing cat and mouse at this point with this like piece of this lady trying to just constantly kick her off and make sure that she can't fully form.
I hate to say it, but it's like she's playing whack-a-mole.
Yes, it very much so is. With a bestial instinct. Getting a bit riled up in the game.
And I imagine a couple of times you kind of impact so hard that you like shatter the glass that she's coming out of as well, and it kind of cracks start to form, and the vibrations like heal them, but it's getting slower and slower as you go.
Yeah. I will just for my own clarity here.
Yeah.
Because I got hurt from when the woman punched me very hard in the stomach.
Yeah.
I am shattering mirrors here with my hands.
Yes.
I don't know of any supernatural healing abilities like Tori has. So I'm assuming that I'm getting my fists a little messed up in all of this as I get more riled up.
A very little bit, but also it's not hurting. You know, like you feel the impact, and there's a small like kind of feedback of jolting and stuff. You know, like if you accidentally like bang your hand against a table or something. But it's not like drawing blood. You're not slowly like battering your hands apart. I also say like that hit you took, you don't really feel that either. Like you're feeling much more kind of like energized and you're kind of in the zone, I guess you could say. And what I'll say is, as you do this equivalent of whack-a-mole, a couple of minutes pass where you're just like in the zone and smashing, and the head starts to rise and you smash again. There's a couple of times where a pane of glass, like of mirror, just like comes out of nowhere, like to try and like protect the head and the body as it starts to come out of the glass, and you just like smash right through it and then jump down and like psh, psh, psh.
Yeah, I definitely imagine that as like the time goes on, it's less of a like controlled like sweeping and stuff, and more of a just like actually starting to just like
Yeah.
fucking punch.
CC smash.
Smash! Yeah.
Until you hear a scream coming from the center of the room, from that blacked out kind of square where the office was, which is where Mr. Knight walked past you and walked into. And at that point, a slow vibration starts to spread out from that place, kind of all across the mirrors, and the mirrors themselves start to get a little bit uneven, start to warp very slightly. After about 20 seconds, the door to this blacked out like square in the center opens. Mr. Knight steps out, straightens his tie, and I don't know whether you're stopping, but the mirror person has stopped coming out of the floor.
Depending on how, yeah, if it's like 20 seconds, I would imagine that Cecilia is like, she stopped leaping and she like stops in the room when she hears the scream, and like her attention is on the cubicle. But it's like, it's still in the point where she's slowly like starting to come down
She's
of this,
still
because
kind
like
of in the zone.
and the adrenaline is still there, right? Like you're waiting for the next thing to pop up, so it's like very much still the alert of everything. And like the moment Knight walks out, it's like eyes on him, like watching him, ready for him to do anything, like still in that moment, right? It's like a very like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm like still in this mode of like, I will whack you as well if you try to do anything.
And he kind of, as he's adjusting his tie, he looks at you and he takes a second and then says, "It's time to go, Cecilia." Now, please. And you feel that like sensation of authority and essentially there, you know, the alpha, there's been a couple of times where you've had that especially with Tori, where you've had that rejection of authority or rejection of like challenging. I will say in this instance, unless you feel any differently, it essentially soothes that bestial instinct in a kind of like a backing away from authority, you know, like kind of thing. Unless you
I
feel
think
that...
it's no, yeah, I think it's like the duality again of her first thought and her first instinct in that moment being like, who is he trying to be?
Yeah.
Like, he tries to put authority over me. Like, that first split second is there. But then she...
It also kind of snaps you out of it as well.
Yeah, it snaps her out of it, and that thought immediately goes away, where she immediately is like, right, and she, like, the like, hands start, like, just becoming regular again, like, the teeth as well. She starts, like, breathing regularly again, like, slowly, and she, like...
It was all very slight. It never got out of control. It was never, like, brrr. It was just kind of, like, slight bestial attributes, like, very...
Yeah.
Very subtle. And...
yes, sir. Yeah, sorry.
And he steps forward and gestures towards the exit and says, "This will not be here very long. We should get out of here before it starts to collapse. You did a very good job. Well done."
Thank you. Yeah. She walks with him, and like as they get near the door, she just like does look back into the room, like to the black cubicle, and just like a part of her mind trying to process this because this is maybe the first time that she can't actively rationalize what happened here.
Yeah.
Because in all previous supernatural encounters, it was like, oh, but wait, I'm acting as if this is happening. I'm acting as if I'm punching Nicole or whatever her Christine. I'm acting as if like this just didn't happen. There's some explanation for this, and that's like maybe the first time where she is just like silent, basically. Just knowing like her mind is not coming up with any reasons or like any explanations for this at this moment, right? Who knows what happens when we're at home?
Yeah.
But at this moment, it's just very much silence and just trying to make herself like, I guess, be proud, because it's like, oh, but he said I did a good job,
Yeah.
and like in the end, that's what I wanted, right? That's what I want. And it's like, yeah, I did a good job.
Yeah, on the surface, at the very least, I feel like that could be a scene by herself a few weeks from now where she's sitting there like, this is what I wanted, right? You know, so like questioning herself. But for now, as you're walking out, Mr. Knight says, well, I know it's difficult to come to terms with, but we have ensured that the people of this town and of this area of this town will not be preyed upon by this monster at the very least.
You're right. Yeah, it and she thinks, and she starts the sentence of, it was more difficult than I thought it would be, but she doesn't say it. So it just goes, I hope I did satisfactory, even though I couldn't actually banish her.
It's all about understanding how they work and finding the way to them. In this instance, this entity was able to summon a copy of itself, essentially. You were fighting the copy. The real one was in its core, in the center.
I should have thought about that, reflections and all.
Well, I think, considering this first one was a test, once I managed to find out what exactly is threatening your friend, I think you'll be able to go out solo next time and banish whatever it is that's after your friend.
I think I'd like that.
And don't be so afraid to tap into what it is that you have now. While it is unnatural, or supernatural, it is also something you'll be utilizing for the good of other people. And that's not something to be ashamed of.
It is nicer to think of it that way. I just cannot forget the overpowering feeling of killing and feeding that I had when, you know, I'll get over it.
You can become a mighty weapon for the innocent of this town. Maybe even more so than me in time. Just need to learn how to control it. And if you're scared of it, it might end up controlling you.
I most certainly will not let that happen.
I don't expect you will.
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's... And at this point, he's like pushing through the doors and you walk out into the reality of nighttime. And he says, right, we will have a debriefing, if you'll allow the phrase, tomorrow after school. And hopefully, I will have a location for you for where the next banishment will need to happen. And if we're very lucky, we'll be able to get rid of whatever it is that's threatening your friend. I'm very almost there.
I honestly want nothing more at this point than to get whatever that is. Making the the students of our high school unsafe.
I feel the same way. I myself, however, will have to deal with the creature in the mine, so I won't be able to come with you next time. But based on this test, you did amazingly well. I have no worries that the next assignment won't go out off without a hitch.
You do know that I'd be more than willing to assist in any way I can for the mine.
The thought is appreciated, Cecilia, but I don't want to put you in that much danger for now.
If it's gonna be that dangerous, then shouldn't you have a backup?
It will be that dangerous for you. I will suffice enough to deal with it, however.
Oh, right. Yes.
Alright, now, do head home. You can't have your parents worrying about you. And I will see you tomorrow at school.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I'll head home now. See you at school.
And as he starts to walk off and you start to walk off, you hear him say, Cecilia?
Yes?
I'm very glad I decided to make you my first apprentice.
I honestly couldn't have asked for a better teacher.
Thank you. Good night. And turns and walks. And the camera fades as they walk off in different direction. Mr. Knight walks off to wherever the hell he's going, and Cecilia walks off home.
Probably to the smug, self-satisfied parlor, wherever that is. Yeah.
No, he just sits in a tiny room and smells his own farts. That's what he does.
And we will end there for today.
Oh, no cliffhanger?
I hate him so much.
No
Oh my
cliffhanger?
God!
Today.
The cliffhanger is that Knight didn't die.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so, no, first of all,
So,
big fucking kudos. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Sheepy, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say open floor for everyone if you want to talk about your day
Go,
today.
Yo.
you go, Sirix.
Big fucking kudos to you, Sheepy, for yet again, like, not only, like, all of the NPCs were fucking bomb, but also,
for
like,
real.
as you said in the beginning, like, it's not like Knight is just and I know that you also like you're like, oh no, this guy is horrible.
I hate it so much. Like,
But you
The
fucking
best
commit
part is
to it.
Katie's face.
And I fucking love that because I'm like, also, like, as a player, I'm like, God, this is so toxic. But I'm like, oh no, we're fucking
Yeah.
committing to this. We're
Yeah.
fucking going for this. And the moment, dude, Katie, the moment I think it was when I said yes, sir, and you just went,
That's when I literally physically had to turn away from the screen.
Yeah.
That it's so because it's like real. Like I'm sure all of us have
It's
seen
very
and know
real,
a
yeah.
groomer like that. That's just
oh, I'm sorry.
no. You're doing. Let me just say, any form of content that can make me feel so viscerally fucking infuriated at a character that is being acted by my friend Peachy Sheepy
Yes.
is phenomenal acting across the fucking
If
board.
anyone has complaints about Knight, please
Go to Peachy.
Go to Peachy
Yeah,
Pixel
yeah.
8. That's the number 8, not the letter 8, and go complain to him.
I
for
also
real.
big shout outs to Horrible Families today. And
God, yes.
Yeah.
Demon Deals. Don't forget about Demon Deals. Also big shout outs to that.
We were
Oh
supposed
god.
to do that last week.
Did you all catch Sheepy
Were
when
there-
Knight was saying goodbye to Cece? He said, "You better get home in case anyone's like looking for you or something, or you might get in trouble." God, it's like the dagger's already all the way in. What more can you do?
Well,
Oh no. There's
I wanna
a
ask that
bit of the
instead.
hilt left. Let's push a little more.
I mean,
You can spin it a little.
you say that, Katie, but you kind of experience the same thing with your scene.
True, but I'm like in it, so I don't think I'm like
Mm.
like watching a scene with Sirius is so much more emotional because I'm just sitting here like, don't
Yeah.
do it. Like,
Because you had the whole scene with Lissa,
God, that
that was-
scene.
and then you go to chat with Puka, and you're like, "What does my mom do when she's here?" And it's like she cries.
crying.
That's-
That was rough.
that was unnecessary.
That was rough. It's been a bit. I kind of forgot about that one. That was a rough one. Yeah.
And just the entire fucking conversation with, like, I don't know what kind of manic, insane, evil bastard brain I have, but when Lissa was like, yeah, you know, I have the TV on, so it
Oh
sounds
my-
like people are in the house.
God, stop it. That broke my
Who of us
fucking
haven't
heart.
done that?
You know?
Background noise. Yeah, that's what the radio is for, isn't it? Or
We've
TV
all
or
been so
whatever.
fucking lonely. We turn the TV on and pretend it's a person. It hits so hard. I mean, I see it. I feel it. Those infomercials in the middle of the night. Head on. Apply directly to the forehead.
And then of course like the Lissa scene was just rough for me the entire time. I was like, I can't, like, it's
Picturing her existence. And I can picture the house, like dilapidated, uneven floor, nasty ass carpet, like busted up. And it's just this tiny little girl sitting in the middle of this overstuffed, nasty couch from 1972, like alone perpetually, watching fucking Head On.
it's
Tragic.
Malcolm in the Middle looking ass house kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Minus the cool dad.
Yeah. And then obviously Tori's mom.
Tori's mom the worst.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
Oh, but I
Dude.
loved you and that elf. You,
Oh my god.
that was such a fucking cool scene where it was like, because it was so obvious that you weren't being like mean or petty in that. It was genuinely Tori just going like, no, you're not listening to me. Like,
Yeah.
you're not seeing me. Like, you can't tell me to do all of the stuff that I've been doing so long while you are away. Like, you do not have the right to say that right now. Like, it was just pure like,
You
like,
haven't been
you just-
fucking here.
yeah, it was, yeah,
Yeah.
it had foundations. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't just, oh no, I don't want to do this, mom. It was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I was
you are in the
already
wrong.
doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on, mom.
Yeah.
Just
Stop.
waiting for your mom to fucking admit that you've been mom.
Yeah.
That it was I
Well, and then I tried to use my magical powers and it didn't work.
know I'm very
And
curious
I-
about that if it's your family or if it's the believe thing.
The moment that
Yeah.
happened,
Well, I mean,
like,
there's a
we
reason
were,
I did that side swipe.
but Katie and I were both sitting there like, oh shit, and I typed furiously. I was like, holy shit, it's because the mom doesn't believe what Tori is saying. Holy shit. And I saw Katie read it, and I saw Katie just go,
My fucking butt dropped out of my body. I was like, oh, because my thought was family. Like, maybe it's some with family. And when I read it, I was like, oh. And then 2 seconds later, it fucking called it.
Yeah.
oh, that was so good.
Which is, like, your mother?
Well, it also makes sense for that.
Because my mom's not
mother.
listening.
Yeah.
My mom's just a fucking asshole and doesn't listen. I have this scene in my mind of like Tori and George talking about terrible family stuff. I don't know how it'll happen, but I'm gonna make it happen.
I can see it at this point. Like
100%.
I honestly think there's been enough like connection between all the characters that Tori would just be like, George, I want to talk to you about some shit, you know, like
Want to go sit by that big scary lake?
well, and also like, you know, my mom mentioned you, so
yeah.
it's like
That was a
scruffy child.
That
Like,
was
that
that was a
scruffy
rough one.
child.
That was a rough one for me to say. I was just like, I feel bad. Like this is. So...
I mean, it really, really
I mean, you're
showed
just
her
playing
character,
like,
though.
You're just playing like out of touch rich bitch, right? Like
That
that's-
piece,
Yeah.
though, was so, like, not. She wasn't just making an example of, like, you don't want to be poor. She fucking went after a little kid.
yeah,
Like a little kid.
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with it, really. Like
Right? Like, blaming a child
And
for
also-
their parents' financial
also, like,
situation.
Also this like idea that she has to be absent to be rich because that is what is the value here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
not like it wasn't like they didn't get the lucky circumstances or whatever. It's like they don't work as hard as me and therefore, right? Which is just like so incorrect. Like
And the comparison of, like, do you want to be poor and have me around all the time?
yeah, like
To your kid, like, yeah.
Which George would be like, yeah, it doesn't really guarantee being around. all
Yeah,
the time,
I
to be
know.
honest.
George
No,
pops in your window. Don't go
it
for that
turns
deal.
out
No,
it
not
turns out
today.
priorities are the important thing, not your fucking it's your attitude, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey man, don't do that.
I know. Tori's a resilient fuck to be as, like, competent as she is, in my opinion.
well, I just think the thing with Tori, like from a character perspective, at least the way I'm trying to portray it, is that everything that she is based on the expectations laid upon her, right? Like
yeah.
her mom has this attitude, and so you inherit these things from your parents, right? Like her dad is this way, her mom is this way, and so she is similarly this way, but also it's because the only way to seek love and approval in a house that is like that focused on like the points goal that is money and success, right, is to have money and success in the way that a kid can have it, which is being popular, being athletic, being the winner, you know what I mean? Like having good
Having
grades,
control.
Even
like all of this is like focused on that same like points goal, you
And-
know?
Yeah.
even when you are the winner, it's not enough because you're the captain and you're not like pushing your teammates enough.
Well, yeah, it's the whole like, well, now that you've been the winner for two whole years, I expect that you be winner plus. Because
Yeah.
winner is just the baseline now, right? Like that goalpost always moves.
Yeah.
And you
Winner
know,
is the new norm.
I speak from
Yeah.
some experience of a pretty well-off family in my own, shit. So.
Do they act like that?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say.
my-
You
my
don't seem
parents
like
are-
that.
My parents are great, but it is one of those things. It's like I can see. I went to private school. Let's
You
just
can
put it
see
that way.
echoes
Yeah.
in other people and yeah. Who knew that a supernatural high school show would end up touching
Deep
on
as
some real
fuck.
shit?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The last thing on before we mentioned the Legion boy over here.
Yeah.
The thing about Tori that made me sad was I can very viscerally remember that point where I, like, you're raised a certain way to, fit these expectations, try to fit the mold your parents give you. But the moment you realize that your parents have done that,
Yeah.
and I feel like Tori's, if
Well, and
she's
I
realized it, if not, she's coming to that
I-
point,
I
and that is
definitely-
heartbreaking.
I definitely think Tori's gonna be like, well, fuck you then, I guess. You know?
Yeah,
what
I mean, there's
Like,
nowhere
I have
left
the
to
power
go.
to control people's minds. I can live somewhere else. I can do other stuff, right? Like,
But we all know
and then that's the like pushback, right? The
Yeah.
rebel pushback on that.
Oh yeah, for
attitude.
sure. But we all know it's never that simple, like
No.
More simple for
established-
Tori. But...
established relationships and like
Yeah.
even more still for people like Tori, very often they try and break out of it and just end up getting pulled back in. You know, where they're, you know,
you get used to certain things, right? And it's one of those things
Yeah.
where it's like, I could be independent, but it would not be at the same advantage as not being.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and that kind of stuff, like, definitely, like
and then
wears on people, and
you also have the aspect of like she's impulsive and she's going through a fairly rough kind of like tumultuous time. But imagine if she was like, no, I don't care. I'm gonna be independent. I'm gonna go go out on my own. I'm gonna do my own thing. What happens to the twins? Because
I don't think she would because of the twins.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of it, right?
Tori,
But, like,
Tori
there
is the most positive person in their lives in terms of like influence.
And I
think there
think
is-
I get the
oh,
feeling
sorry.
she genuinely cares. Sorry, I mean,
Yeah.
I just get the feeling she genuinely cares about them. She's not doing something out of like,
Oh yeah.
what's the word?
I mean, she cares. She cares,
Obligation.
but also like there's the point where it's
Obligation,
like
yeah.
they are my siblings. They are not my children. You know what I mean?
Oh, of
Like,
course, yeah.
like,
But
kind of
remember
stuff.
that scene on like the first episode where she came home and she was like semi-mothering them and
And
everything.
all of that is like you know you love your family. You know,
Yeah.
especially
Oh,
like
yeah, for
the
sure.
younger kids, right? Like what do they know about shit, right? Like we saw a lot of that in George's scenes.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And then of course we had Legion.
Yeah. Yeah, don't forget
Scary boy.
supernatural fucking demon brain.
Yeah, here,
Yeah.
let me bargain with this bitch.
For we are
Which one?
many.
Dude.
We are Legion.
I'm starting to wonder. My theory on Will, the other day when he couldn't conjure fire right away, is because he was not talking to the right demon. I think everything that he can do is like a different set of eyes, and he didn't know.
I
That's my
want to
theory.
point out that
Scary bitch.
the thing that happened today, that was my Sheepy and I worked that out 2 weeks ago. It was like, yes, it's gonna be
We-
cool.
See?
And I
we
was
did-
like, the only way I agree to this whole thing that we've cocked up is if the scene ends with all the eyes opening. He's like, okay, we
That
can do
and
that.
the turn to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and also like I just didn't like last week. I just didn't have the. I wanted. To
yeah.
do
No.
Yeah.
all of the scenes you three had aside from CC was planned for last week, but I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like,
Last week got fucking cramped.
Yeah.
Last
And
week was fucking
I
wild.
definitely accidentally shoved big scenes into last week. I don't think
Oh.
CP was expecting.
I didn't mind at
I-
all.
Were the shit, though.
I was not expecting it. I was not complaining, and I'm actually kind of glad because it meant we had just essentially like a snapshot for all of the characters, where it's just like, you know, where they are, what they're doing, the mental state they're in, and all
I think
those
it's
type of
important to
things.
see, especially teenage characters, not around their friends.
Yeah.
Because it's like Tori, like Elf was saying. I mean, your popularity, your status in school is your like value.
Yeah.
And so I think most people, if not everybody, is different. Like they kind of mask in a certain way. So seeing them in their own environment, you kind of break them down a little.
Everybody
Yeah.
acts differently with their friends than they do on their own. That's
Yeah.
just facts of life, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, it's
They
the
asked me to
same
stop
as-
taking
it's-
out my pussy.
It's literally the same as like when the camera is on, when the camera is not on. Like you're
Yeah.
not the same person, right? Like necessarily.
Yeah.
Even if you say you are, not usually, right?
Nobody
Like,
is, right?
nobody
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Even if you're not aware of it, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
I did very much enjoy doing deep growly demon voice with the eyes, and then stepping out of the shadow and being like, "Hello, I'm also Will."
Oh, I
That
love
was very
Darth
creepy.
Will.
And then real Will, like just turning around to a wall and blinking a bunch.
Yeah.
The most William
I gotta
thing
get
he
out of
could
here.
have possibly done. It was
Um,
so wonderful, but terrifying. I wanted to say the way that you described how the eyes just followed him like almost a 2D thing was exactly how I was picturing it before you
Yeah.
said it. It was
Yeah,
very
like
creepy.
like a 2D sprite from like
Yeah, like it
Doom-
had no body or
Nukem
something.
or Quake or something. It just rotates in place.
Yeah.
It's
3D.
literally how I pictured it. It made it so much creepier though.
So,
Yeah.
seeing as y'all did such a good job today, I'm going to pose you with a final question for just for the fun of it, so that you'll have a little bit of a cool or whatever. If the demon eye is in a cage, why does it need to be chained up?
Why are you like this?
Maybe the chains are very, very long.
Yes.
My answer is
What?
because lots of people who are caged up are also chained, and that's what
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, my
Standard
my answer would be that the cage is there to make it seem to others like it's harmless and it can't do anything. But oh,
Or the cage isn't there.
Well, Sheepy, why don't you tell us where we can find you and all that stuff?
That's not how it works. I pass it off. I start the hot potatoes rolling, and we're going to start today with I think the person I traumatized the most, which will be Katie, and also George.
Is that like every week?
No, not every week.
I don't think it's ever been me.
I pit out every episode, and it's never my own scenes.
I mean,
I'm just sweating for Cecilia as she gets punched in the gut.
I think
this time it was a pretty heavy one for George.
That was-
I feel.
No, that was
I
hard.
think it's fair, Katie, because you express yourself very obviously, so it's easy to read all of your reactions on your face,
And-
as opposed to the stoicness of the rest of us.
I love a good punch to the gut anime blood spit move.
Yeah.
So.
That's exactly how I
like, it
pictured
has
it,
to
like that.
happen.
I didn't.
Yep.
I didn't get a chance to sit back, and I was like always an NPC in this episode, so I didn't get a chance to react really. But yeah, no,
It was great.
Some fucking Neo in the Matrix blood.
You're up.
I'm gonna answer this question first. If Will's demon's in a cage, why is it chained? I think maybe it's an illusion to make Will think he's in control, and he's not in control of anything at all. It's an illusion on an illusion,
Dun,
or whatever.
dun,
Ba-ba-ba! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. My name is Class Katie. It's wonderful to see all of you. I had a great time today. I have so many notes. I wrote 11 pages again. I'm hitting 11 3 weeks in a row, I think, which is very strange. Now at 3 different notebooks.
I can only
Thank you for
apologize
that.
to the trees of the world.
They were already murdered. I'm just putting their bodies to good use, right? That's
Yeah.
what she said. I'm gonna stop. You
Okay.
can find me at twitch.tv/ClassKatie, where I've been playing a shit ton of Destiny. It's been a blast. I have a good time. I'm gonna bounce to Syrinx. What was it? Syrinx, what? You're gonna have to type out one of those chants for me, because I couldn't write it down, but that second chant you said today was fucking wild. What was that?
Oh, I can throw it up for you.
Do you know what is that?
Yeah. I
It was different and I knew it, but it was too fast for me to write down. It was scary.
Oh, but it was a protection one, right?
It's a shield,
Because
yeah.
I didn't get to say. I was planning to say the degradation one, but I didn't get to it because I got punched in the gut.
Would you like? I enjoy the degradation one. Would you like to say it? Would you like to perform it quickly?
It
for
might
us?
come up again. It might come
It
up.
might
Don't-
come
yeah,
up
it might-
again.
Yeah, well, if you don't want to, it's fine.
Well,
There's
wait. Let
there's
me.
a possibility.
It's a short one though, but I was
Okay, all right.
planning to use that one. I was like, ooh, but then you went and did the little punch. And I was like, oh well, guess I don't.
Little punch.
So yeah, the degradation one is cool. It's like Kneel worm, the void of creation recognizes you, and now be reclaimed. Feel the pull of reality and know thy place. It's a pretty
fucking.
cool one.
It gives me chills. That's like lit shit, dude. Anyway,
I do
sorry.
love Neil Worm is a good.
Neil
starting
Worm is
line.
great.
Well, it's
Yes.
it's degradation.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Sorry, it's your outro.
Yes, it is. God, yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that.
was intense.
Hey, I had a blast playing today as well. I enjoyed every little scene and just being in emotional turmoil at seeing all of these teenagers go through all of these very different emotions. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And you can find me on social media and blah 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 blah. But I don't feel like talking about that today. So, Elf.
Oh, me. Okay, hello. I will also answer the question, and I think Sheepy asked the question because Sheepy just wants us to have to think about something, and actually it's a red herring, just entirely.
Okay.
Cages and chains are together all the time.
Doesn't exist. It's not real.
It's not a question. So hi, I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf. I've been playing Street Fighter recently, and I'm bad at it. So if you want to see me get less bad at it over time, this week maybe.
It sounds really difficult, to be fair.
And then I'll be away for a little while. So last chance. Haha. Not last chance. I'll be back. But go ahead, Will.
Hi.
Hey there, Legion.
Hey, you can find me everywhere at Legion. No, I will be sponsored by Legion. No,
Shit, wrong.
Fucking wish.
Just go whole hog. Everything is Legion now. I'm gonna be painting the walls. Yeah, no, you can find me at Lima Zulu Tango. I'm on summer break now, so I'll be streaming more. And my website with my custom leather stuff is going to be up soon. The thing that's holding us back now is the fact that South Africa can't get power. So my PA is literally like, she had to make fire today out in the yard to make food. Because there is no fucking power.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's it used to be it used to be a case of 4 hours every.
Oh yeah, those random ass power outages. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 hours every 2 weeks. We have a scheduled like power shut off, and now it's a case of I'll have power for 4 hours today. So yeah, she had to like actually make fire out in the garden to cook food, and she's not happy. So yeah. That's what holding us back from launching, but hopefully we can get that settled. Oh yeah, also the substation down her street blew up.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's a total fucking mess. But you can find me at Lima Zulu Tango on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. And I also urge you all to check out the Patreon and the website. And I'm gonna bounce it back to Sheep.
Hello, everyone. Wow, it's been man, like my brain got fried today. Like, just all the NPCs came out of the woodworks and was like I'm going to assault you with emotions or.
You were arguably in more scenes than any of us today. You worked hard, dude. You did all the NPC shit. That was rough, and you did a good job. I mean, obviously, like. It'll be great for resetting your sleep schedule. Like, you should just knock the fuck out.
Yeah, I imagine I will. But yes, so Patreon, website, go check those out. Twitter has a link to the website. Website has a link to all the other socials, including Twitter, so you can go in a circle if you really want. If you enjoy the show, if you want to see us do more, especially more recorded shows, because there are recorded shows coming, which are going to be a lot of fun, and also, hopefully in the future, a Friday show as well as a Monday show. Go to the Patreon, check it out, and if you like the shows, if you want more, pledge. All the money will go directly to paying the cast, and just working towards expansion. Yeah. And if you want Sheepy just playing loads of NPCs in an episode, encourage the Monday show, because the Monday show is where I do that currently.
He just runs a show where he pays himself 4 player salaries and just like role plays with himself for like 4 hours. I would pay to see this the schizophrenic Sheepy show.
Get the glasses out.
You then have to have post-credit discussions as well with yourself.
Oh my god, it's shout outs and everything.
Yeah. And the show will be called A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Or sheep in sheep's clothing.
No, you just call it you just call it the flock, right? You call it the flock, and it's just
it could say, instead of the cast, it would just say the flock. that would work.
You can call
Sheepy as this character, Sheepy as this character, Sheepy as this character,
and introducing Sheepy as this character.
It's just different like what do you call it, like headshots, like like one is like
oh my god, yes.
Sheepy, one is like a serious Sheepy. Yeah, I want to see it.
I'm just saying, put this on the Patreon because this is gold.
Yeah. Sheepy puts his camera on to take a picture every 5 seconds and then just fucking Vogue.
It's a snack shot of Joel, so it's just a Joel episode, and it's literally just Sheepy role playing with other NPCs.
I mean, it's easy to do a headshot of Joel. You just go.
I was gonna do the same.
That is accurate.
Yeah. But yeah, let's wrap up. Let's roll up, and let's I can't think of another R, so let's just go.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back next Monday, but when we are back next Monday, it'll be recorded. Just
It will be
FYI.
pre-recorded,
Yeah,
yes.
we're pre-recording a little bit, and there'll be a little bit of things, so just be aware. And yeah, thanks for watching. Fuck it, outro. Let's go. Bye. See you later.
Ah.